Behind the Ramble is proudly sponsored by Glasby Pallets. They're offering a one-stop solution for all of your pallet needs. Get in touch on 01709 585 646 to discuss your pallet requirements. Thank you to Sonny and the team at Glasby Pallets for all their support of Behind the Ramble.
Coops here. Subscribe to Blades Ramble. Keep following, and all the best.
The Puhausery.
What is happening, Blades, and welcome back to the Blades Ramble. I am, of course, Jimmy, and this is your watch-along for England versus Senegal. I'm just having a look on Match Bingo because I'm desperate to do a bingo card for this. I think it will certainly liven up the play yet, but I need to check. Oh, you're doing Match Bingo card for England, don't have it. That's not great, is it, when you have to do that live? Because I suppose I left it too late myself anyway to get on. So, how are we all doing? Look, so we have, for those that have been following along with the channel in the closed season, everybody knows how busy we are during the season. That is, because we aren't saying really, because certainly in the Championship, we can expect another year of this. We played 49 games this year, and we've covered every single one of them in some form or fashion. And that sort of sets your schedule. That lets you know where you're going to be, what times, because you'll get the fixtures. They get moved by a day or two. But we always do a lead-in. We count down to kickoff. And, we did a 90 before 90 for the Wembley game, but we normally do 90 after 90 for the post-match where we speak to people. We've got set shows where we do stuff throughout the season. We're continuing some of those in the closed season, like Hot Topic with our Ramblers. Three Mardy Blades is going to soon, from next month, will become a weekly show, which I'm really excited about. But in the closed season, you haven't got that schedule, that regularity. And a couple of things, and I've spoken to people about this before, but on YouTube, the way the algorithm works, which is the famous thing that everybody talks about, but that's basically all the coding behind it, that it's got obviously millions of channels now to sort of assess and work out and things like that, and who's doing what when. So it's all done on coding and stuff like that. I don't understand any of it. But they're looking at regularity of posts. They're looking at, and because our content is seasonal, essentially, that's what it is, then in the summer, if you don't post videos, okay, where can I fix this? Okay, right, okay, no problem. We may not have Match Bingo. I've just had a message from the main man to say just having a few issues with Opta at the minute. So hold fire if you are looking to get a Match Bingo card, and we'll do it together as and when I get an update. But yeah, so people have been saying, like, why are you trying this? Well, it's something. There's a few reasons I'm trying it, and this is one of them, in all honesty. You'll always get honesty from us on here, because we want to keep the algorithm strong. We want to keep people coming to the channel so that there's no bump in the road, really. I don't expect these sort of streams to be as popular as the Sheffield United content or the regular in-season Behind the Ramble content, but it's something different. And we've always tried different things. The taxi videos are going really well. I'm really enjoying doing those. On the Ramble, the Blades Ramble, the main channel, we are also doing 10-minute transfers, which people have taken to really well. I don't think I'm that great at doing those, if I'm honest. And that's, again, just an honest view. I think my Mountain is able to package it a little bit better than I am at the minute, but that's all a learning curve for me. So we're always trying something different. And this has allowed us to dip our toes into content that I wasn't sure, in all honesty, how I was going to take to it. And one of the few barometers I have for content is, would I enjoy it? And this was in the I don't know category, in all honesty. But we did the Nations League, and we had guest commentators on there. People that don't often come on camp. George joined us as well, who's our main watch-along commentator with me. But so I know that's going to be no issues at all, because he can carry me through the stream. But we've had guests come on from some of our Platinum Ramblers have come on and joined us. which I love giving people the opportunity to sort of test themselves and sort of dip their toe into what, you know, if they want to be more involved. And I think this is more protected environment and things like that. We're both a little bit like fish out of water in these contexts. So we did the Nations League, and that were brilliant. I did the World Cup qualifier against Andorra with Lee, which was England, which we thought were going to be absolutely brilliant. No, we didn't think it were going to be. That's not over-egging it. But it's the one that we're going to be most invested in because it's our team. Yes, we didn't expect the quality of a Spain versus Germany or something like that, but we did expect, or Spain, France, whatever, it was Spain, France, weren't it? But we did expect to be more emotionally involved, like we would be watching United. Well, England, to be fair, was the damp squib so far in terms of game quality. Still loved having Lee on the stream, and he knows that. I don't even have to caveat it with anything. But this tonight, England versus Senegal, I'll go through the teams properly when my co-host gets here. But look at those teams, and straight away, a couple of Sheffield United legends, first two names on the sheet for England. And if you look across the way, number 13 for Senegal, Iliman N'Diaye. So it's going to be Iliman N'Diaye going up against Dean Henderson in goal. Obviously, Kyle Walker, an absolute mainstay for England over the years. There's still some new faces in that England side. We'll get to Man Mountain's opinions on it and see what he thinks going forward when he comes in and joins us. But yeah, that's been primarily some of the reasons for trying the new content, and it's keeping me engaged with the footy as well. It's giving me my fix of football. I wouldn't necessarily be as into it. I'm looking forward to tonight because we've got some familiar faces on the pitch that I really enjoy. I enjoyed during the time with Sheffield United, the three that we've mentioned. I also like a lot of these players that are involved today. Eze, really like the look of him. Declan Rice has really sort of come on this season domestically. Can he do that for England? I don't think he's actually reached the levels he can for England. So Bukayo Saka back in the side, really like that. And is there anybody in this Senegal side, not particularly that Sheffield United can be looking at, but that might surprise us? Obviously, there's names that we know there: Nicholas Jackson, Ismail Assar. Yeah, there's a few names that don't surprise us. Mendy, the former Chelsea goalkeeper, Koulibaly, the captain. But Anthony Gordon, Eze on the pitch, and Saka, those three that will likely be behind Captain Harry Kane, potentially could be very good, this. So let's see what you guys are thinking. Jamie Dumpling says, evening, Jimmy and Mr. Puhauser. He's not here yet. He has been... he's been at football training. So he will be joining us as soon as possible. He thought it were an 7:30 start, and he was cutting it fine. So he'll be joining us very shortly. Glad to see so many ex-Blades starting and potentially playing if Gibbs White comes on. Just wants entertainment and Dino to make a name for himself. Absolutely right. To be fair, long gone are the hopeful days that if you make an impression for England, it means anything, because I don't think it does it? And I understand that Jordan Henderson has rarely let us down. I won't say never let us down, because Nick Cook rightly put me right with that last time. But Dean Henderson comes on as a blinder today. There's no way he's getting in for any competitive games, is there? So it's disappointing, but that's where we are, I think. Bit harsh on Gibbs White not starting at the Forest ground. There's no room for sentiment, is there? I'm not one for that. You should be playing him at Forest's ground. But it's whether you see him in the side in the future. If he'd have signed for Man City, like has been rumoured, I think that's sort of quietened off already, then does he establish himself in this side? Probably, maybe. Does he get in over Eze? Because he would then be the one in the news and in the headlines. I think there's something to that sometimes. I think sometimes managers' heads are swayed by headlines at times. Evening, Jimmy says, Nige. Evening, Mr. Mountain, when he gets here, pal. Hope both are well. How are you finding the taxi work, pal? I wouldn't have the patience to handle with some of the customers, but sound like you've got more good ones. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, behind the Ramble, like and subscribe. Do you know what, mate? I have really enjoyed doing the taxiing. Really enjoyed it. And I was talking to my dad about it today. It's quite addictive. It's once you see the money ticking up, it's like it's literally a side gig for me. It was a safety net, and rightly so. I feel a lot more comfortable and a lot less stressed, knowing that if anything were to drop, in terms of the ramble. Like I lose a couple of sponsors in quick succession, or you know, anything. I could get cancelled, you know, if I let Jamie Dumpling on too much. So it's I need to have a backup plan. And the fact that I can jump in the car and earn how much I want, essentially. I mean, we're not talking about £5 a month, are we? But if I want to stay in the car and make £200 in a day, I can. And that is, it's quite, it serves a greater purpose than just monetary gain. It gives me a calm about everything. You know, I don't have to achieve certain milestones. Obviously, I'm still motivated and I always want to get better. The ramble will always be my main focus. I've had a great meeting with my business coach today. Shout out John Asquith at my business group. The best coach going by a country mile. I'm planning something pretty big in the next 6 weeks or so. And I just needed his guidance on a few things. And he's been messaging me before I came on tonight as well, just trying to fine tune what we're going to be doing. And yeah, I just feel a lot more relaxed about it, other than I don't want it all to be thrown into that or it's bust, because it's not. So, because if I can afford to take the odd risk here or there and try and make our business better, if you want to talk in harsh terms, because I've got that taxi there to back me up. And not only that, but I've got a couple of episodes in the can, as they would say, if I were professional. That's probably the term I'd use. But and the latest one that I've done is probably the best one that I've done so far. And I don't mean because I've got any better at presenting it or anything like that. I mean purely because some of the tales, I did my first Saturday night. So look out for that Saturday night one, because it's really good. But anyway, enough of me waffling on. It's time to bring up the content of the quality. There you go. Time to bring up the quality of the stream by bringing on the main man. It's Paul the Man Mountain.
This is the view from the mountain, with a heart so pure it's astounding. Man Mountain, strong and true. What a man, what a view.
All right, my boy.
I'm well. How are you?
Oh, mate, I'm okay. I'm a little bit all over the place. You know, I've had a busy day today. I know we've caught up a couple of times, but all good. All good. Really exciting. Hang on, let me see if this works. Yeah.
Should we address him?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah. Always got to address the elephant in the room. Hello, my friend. Football good, mate? Enjoy your son at the footy tonight?
Yeah, lovely night for it. Nice and warm.
Trying to get back into it, aren't you?
It wasn't me, mate. It's Ronnie's.
I thought it was yours, because you've started again, haven't you?
Yeah, back playing on a Wednesday. Trying to anyway.
Mate, you're going to be a different animal soon. Animal.
Everything hurts for days. That's the problem.
How's Ron got on then? All right.
Yeah, he's done well. Yeah, we've got one more tournament left, so we just try to practice for that. So yeah, it's all good. Then the season closes down for a bit, and hit it again in September.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. So, have you, in your rushing around to get back, have you given yourself any time to have a look at the teams or anything like that before you jumped on?
Mate, you won't believe what I've been doing since I came back. I've been getting rid of spiders because apparently I'm the only person in this house who can get rid of a spider. So that's
me too. But it does make me feel like I contribute significantly to the house. So
I feel so valued.
I know, I do because I hardly do anything else. So when I clear spiders away, it's like, yes, I am your savior. That's right. You better respect me. So clearing spiders away is what you've been up to.
Yeah, you're gonna love me because I'm gonna go and try and eat something because I haven't eaten any dinner.
Well, you always eat on stream anyway, don't you? You've done it
from way on stream, mate. I know it's disgusting. Who would do that?
Who would do that? Who would do that? What kind of a man does that, Man Mountain? So these are the teams, mate. I'll show you. Dean Henderson in goal.
Love it.
I reckon that's a back four of Walker, Colwill, Chalabar and Lewis Skelly. I might be wrong there. I might be wrong.
You're right. You're right.
Conor Gallagher and Declan Rice. Then I reckon it's Eze in the 10. And Saka on the right. Anthony Gordon on the left. And Harry Kane up front. That's what I'm thinking it's going to be. That's just off the top of my head because I haven't properly looked at the teams. But
their front three's good, isn't it?
Yeah,
Sarr, Jackson and N'Diaye. They're going to give us some...
they'll give us some problems, won't they? I think they'll ask some questions.
Koulibaly at the back. Mendy in goal.
Mendy in goal. Yeah, they've come on a bit, haven't they? They've come on a little bit, I think, Senegal.
Yeah, bit of a challenge. It looks like that. They look like a decent side on paper. A few names that we recognise. Obviously, got quite an exciting team out. Obviously, Eze's a exciting player. Gordon's got his pace. Kane's in the team.
Yep.
So yeah, it should be. I'm excited by Lewis Skelly. I think he solves a problem we've had for a few years for England at left back.
Agreed.
So that'll be interesting. Shalabar's he's had a good second half of the season for my money. Gallagher we haven't seen because he plays for Atletico nowadays, doesn't he? So he's sort of back in the fold. That didn't expect him to be there, but
no, don't know how he's done either, to be honest. So it'd be interesting to see how he plays tonight. So
I think he was well thought of there. I think he
was
was
well thought of at Chelsea. So I don't know what the all shebang were with that. It's FFP, isn't it? Probably, and PSR and all that sort of stuff.
YMCA and
YMCA,
PCA and any acronym you fancy.
Anything you want. Anything you want. Let's have a look. Where are we in the comments? I'm hoping I don't fall asleep during this game. Up all the rambles, up the blades, like and subscribe, please. Thank you, David. Appreciate that.
AKA Grandpa Simpson. Thank you, David. Well done.
Beast Boy says, AI finally getting to work. Does anyone else find it odd that they've identified two players from the same club? If you're talking about the link to the Bulgarian or I can't remember what nation he's from. Is he Nigerian from the Bulgarian league? It does not excite me at all, Beast Boy. Please do not run away with this immediately. Firstly, it may be a tenuous link in terms of it may not be hard and sort of accurate. But also, we talk about this a lot with AI and data-driven stuff. If they're playing in the equivalent to the Sunday League, and I don't know the standard of the Bulgarian league, but I can't imagine it's too high, then your stats and your figures are going to be so much higher than they would be if you were playing even in League One or something like that. So you cannot give the data point. If it's coming from a poor league, I don't give it as much merit. I wonder if it's just he looks a great prospect for a young lad. We might take a punt on him. I'm hoping that's the case anyway. Hi, nice to see Dino in at last. Great goalie. England to win 2-1. I don't think that's a bad shout. Yeah, Dino in goal is. I'm really looking forward to seeing. I love Dean Henderson. I think we all us Blades got a real soft spot for him. Really looking forward to seeing him in the sticks for England tonight. Seeing that Man City 117 charges may come out this week, so it'll be interesting to see what comes of it. Still feel for the Wednesday staff who haven't been paid yet. What they rely on the wage, disgraceful. I was saying it earlier. I jumped on very briefly because the Sheffield United fixtures have been released for pre-season. So I don't know if you've seen it, Paolo, and I haven't got it on this this screen, but I can get it if you haven't seen it. Do you know who we're playing in pre-season?
Oh yeah, it's the local rounds, isn't it? It's
the usual. I don't know. Is this the exact? It's almost the exact same as last season, isn't it? I think we got Harrogate last season as well. Jamie Dumpling will know because I think he went to every one. But
I think we had a mixture, didn't we? Sorry, Jim, to interrupt. I think we had a mixture of playing like the first team and especially when they come to thick and fast.
Was that was that a necessity though, due to the flux in the players? Do you think that we had?
Oh, we didn't have any. We didn't have a team. Do you mean?
Yeah, pretty much. Maybe so. Rather than it just being, we want to see out young uns. Because I think they'll have their specific friendlies elsewhere. To be honest, but we're in Girona from Sunday the 6th to Saturday the 12th of July. And anybody that didn't see it earlier, we've got 4 games in the space of 11 days. Tuesday 15th, we're away at York, all away. Saturday 19th, away at Rotherham. Tuesday the 22nd, away at Burton Albion. And then Saturday 26th, away at Chelsea. And I will miss the second 2 because I'm away. I'm going to try and get to York and or Rotherham, if not both. I don't know if you can make any games, Mr. Mountain.
We'll see. Yeah,
we'll be chomping at bit, won't we, for a bit of football by then? I think.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure there's.
You met one in if you can, won't you?
Yeah, Girona. I like the sound of that.
I thought you might. Glad you're feeling more stable. More stable. I don't. Were I unstable? I might have been Beast Boy. To be fair, it's been one of them weeks, pal. One of them weeks. And then we're only on Tuesday, so that's not a good start. Neil says, "Evening, Jimmy and Paul. I think I watched the game in my PJs due to the last time being 100% ball fest. Without being disrespectful to Andorra, we should have had a bucket full of goals. So fingers crossed, up the Ramble and up the Blades. The thing is, against Andorra, and Senegal won't be like this, I don't think, just due to the flair that they've got up front, really. Andorra stuck 11 men behind the ball, and that was a World Cup qualifier that had something on it. If they could have got a point out of that game, which they weren't too far away from getting, then it would have meant an awful lot to them. And that was a spoiler tactic that they played. Despite that, we should have been well better than them to break them down earlier and more often than we did. So yeah, I'm not defending us in that respect, because we should have had a lot more than we did, but we weren't good enough on the night. What a man, what a view, says Beast Boy. Feeling nervous every single day passes that Rian's not signed a contract. Hope he's going day by day. Hope he's fading away. Do you think Rian Brewster signs a contract, Man Mountain?
It'll depend, won't it? I think he'll be offered something. I
think he has, hasn't he? He has been offered it.
It might not be what he's after, because I think we sort of speculated that he might be, might see somewhere else as a more desirable destination, maybe. Because I'll be honest, he's put that doubt in our minds, hasn't he? I think 6 months ago, you and I would have been agreed that it wasn't going to happen and it shouldn't happen, and we don't want it to happen. But I think he's done well the second part of the season. Whether he's playing for a contract or playing for the next one, some people, some managers have quoted in the past that players seem to start pulling up some trees towards the end of their deals, and I guess that's I'd like to keep them on a bit of an edge, if you want.
Absolutely. I'm just going to have a little look in our group. Bobby is reporting in our group. Now, I don't want to spread this far and wide, but just to let you know what's going on in our Platinum chat, Bobby says he's heard Wilder's gone, or very strong rumours, albeit on the forum.
That is.
I would not. That's me keeping everybody up to date with what we've heard in the group, which is all speculative, and we've heard it from one person in the forum. And I'm not a great believer in the forums, if I'm honest. Not when it's just from one source. So
someone will send a second message and put "on holiday" at the end of it.
Yeah. So already people are saying, "Load of rubbish." Don't believe it.
Thank you, mate. We'd have something to talk about if that happens tonight.
Well, we'll be jumping off, won't we? We'll be jumping onto a separate stream, I think, for that one.
Have you sorted out your match bingo? I've been trying to find the cards.
No, mate. No, he's messaged me because I tried to put on the cards and he says they're having a problem with Opta. So,
yeah, they're always causing aggro, Opta.
I know. They were supposed to send them the data, but Opta have messed up, unfortunately. They're working on a fix and they'll let us know if they can get it done before kickoff. The 117 charges will be dropped. They'll done a deal with the FA. That's why City haven't won anything this season. You don't go from being dominant to useless in less than a season. Interesting, Neil. Interesting. Calm down, ladies. He's got sweaty from training, not you pervs. Oh, my word. I can't tell if Beast Boy's being serious or just on the wind-up. About Brewster, he's being serious, pal. He's a huge...
He's on the wind up.
Yeah, possibly so. Heard Gallagher's a proper Simeone player. Oh, yeah, that sounds about right. He wouldn't surprise me. He's an hard-working, tough-tackling midfielder. He does a little bit of everything, I think, Conor Gallagher, quite well. Maybe the master of none, so he doesn't really stand out an awful lot. But I think he's a versatile midfielder. Whether he's top class and playing for England, I'm not entirely sure. Evening all, says Bright. Complaint aimed at the Mountain. I nearly spat my coffee out earlier when he mentioned Accrington, then threw in the, who are they? Thanks, Paul. So that was from Paul's Jimmy Dunn video this morning, 10-minute transfers.
What accent with that, Jim? What accent with that?
It was
do you want to do it again for us?
Yeah, I do. Accrington Stanley. Who are they?
That's not bad, you know. That's
exactly.
Not bad, you know.
Thanks, mate. Thanks. There you go. Evening, Bri. Hope you're well, pal, says Nige. Daz says, evening, lads. Toss up between watching a crap English display or a crap Ireland v Luxembourg game. Decisions. I know, mate. Lesser of two evils, isn't it?
Iliman N'Diaye's on, mate. and dies on. There's no choice.
Yeah, absolutely right. Should be a big test. This Senegal unbeaten in 21, really. But it depends on who they've been playing. It does, yeah, but unbeaten in 21 is impressive for whatever level you're playing at, really. All good. Cheers, pal. Ray says, looking forward to seeing N'Diaye, of course. Hope England win, but still would like to see him do well. Yes, me too. Up the blades, up all the rambles. Like and subscribe. Does anyone know if York will be a ticket match or pay on the door? Jamie might be the best one to talk about. Last season was York, Chelsea, Harrogate, Rotherham, Huddersfield.
I'm sure they'll tell us. They'll tell us before, won't they?
Of course they will, yeah. But to give you a heads up, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. It won't surprise me if he could pay on the door.
Give me 2 minutes.
Yeah, no problem, mate. So my Mountains have to get some scran by the looks of it. So there was only Burton that we didn't play last season that we are this season. We've played Burton a couple of times in pre-season before, though, in recent years. So Huddersfield and Harrogate were the others. Won't be surprised to see 1 or 2 more fixtures added, to be honest. Loads of people online losing it with the lineup. It's a friendly for flip's sake. Nice that, and nice use of the language, pal. Love that. Well done, Jamie, for not swearing. Yes, well done, Brian. Great minds. Jimmy, you doing any Ubers from Sheffield to York? Nice fare. Might have to. Wilder's gone on holiday. Ian says, will you be doing watch-alongs for the pre-season friendlies if you can't go? And the SUTV, or will there be ramble on the roads? There will definitely be ramble on the roads, definitely, because I think there will be an appetite not only for the content, but I think the lads who get involved in the ramble on the. In fact, Jamie's already asked about doing them, so I know that they'll be keen to get back into the swing of it, really. So yeah, there'll definitely be ramble on the roads. I am away on holiday for the last 2 games. So for the Burton and Chelsea games. So I can't go to them and I won't be able to do the watch-alongs. But I'm hoping to go to the York and Rotherham. If I don't go, we'll do a watch-along. If it's on SUTV, which it probably will be. If I do go, and Dave the Nose and or Man Mountain, who both have access to stream on their own now, want to do any of the 4 games, if they can't attend, then they're more than welcome to. So we'll let you know close to the time, Ian, but thank you for asking. Ray says, I think he'll sign. He still has feelings and ambitions, so I think it's a deal to get done. Nothing on Sky Sports News, so fake news. So I think he'll sign. I think you mean for Ian Brewster, Ray, in terms of feelings and ambitions, so I think it's a deal to get done. And in terms of Wilder, I think you mean nothing on Sky Sports News, so it's fake news. It is fake news, and I would be shocked. People are asking me now, have I heard anything? I haven't heard anything. I've been looking at my phone, though, to be fair. So nothing that I can see at the moment. Not that I'd necessarily be able to share it. I'd have to get, it's got to be done the right way, hasn't it? Good evening, lads, says Marco. Hope you both well. I'm all right, thanks, pal. I'm committed. I'm here. I don't know where my mountain is. Be absolutely amazed if that's happened regarding Wilder. Backed him after the final, then get rid. No chance. Yeah, there'd have had to be a fallout, wouldn't there? Which I just can't see at the minute. I just cannot see. Hello, guys. Hope you're good tonight. Loved the video about Dunn. Thank you, Jack. I did too. I thought Paul did a really good job. I'll try and let him know if I can remember to go back to your comment that you've said that. So thank you, pal. Deb says, evening, Jimmy and Man Mountain. Who do you think will win tonight? I think England have got to do it, haven't they? England have got to do it tonight. But it's a test, I suppose. Up the blades, up all the rambles, up behind the ramble. Please like and subscribe to the Best Blades channel. Let's help Jimmy get to 10K. Thank you, Debs. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate it. One player, Jim and Mountain, you'd love to see at the lane this season who hasn't already been linked. Oh, Jack. Who hasn't been linked? Cameron Archer. Iliman without long sleeves looks. Oh, has he got short sleeves on? That's a lot. Teams are just coming out now. Oh, and it's just cut the camera away. So we'll have a look. We'll have plenty of time to see him, won't we? Jimmy to drive the promotion winning bus at the end of the season. Next stop, the Prem. Then waits a full season for the return fare. Nice. Yes. As ever, people, help us make the ramble even bigger. Like, subscribe, and share this amazing channel. Be a part of the family, people. Keep it ramble. Thank you, Bri. Thank you to Brian Debs who are helping push us really strongly. I don't want these to become sort of just comments that we read out, because these people are really trying to help us go somewhere. So if you're not already liking sort of pushes it out to people, and sharing obviously manually pushes out to people that you know as well. Subscribing means that you will always get a feed if you are looking for us online. So if you go to your subscriptions on YouTube, you will always see where we are in that list. If you put your notifications on, which is the bell next to the subscribe button, you'll get a notification on your phone when we're going live and when a new video pops up. So it really does help us grow. So thank you to everybody that does that. I'll be at Rotherham. Will you, Jimmy? Possibly, mate. Yeah, I would have thought so. I'll be surprised if I'm not. But we are looking at something big that weekend. So keep the following day free, please, Marco. Wouldn't surprise me regarding Wilder being let go. Americans could have attached clauses to him in the new contract. I failed to get promoted. However, looking at Friendly's list, that's a Wilder decision. The Friendlies are definitely a Wilder decision. If he had a clause like that in his contract, Scott, we would know about it because he'd have gone already. What's the point in him hanging around for 2 weeks after the playoff final, knowing that we're not going to get promoted? I don't think that's the thing. I understand that could have been a thing. But I think if it was, it would have triggered almost immediately because you need to get your new manager in then, don't you? I would be amazed. Watched him last Friday, Man Mountain. Ran most of the game in the second half when he was moved more central, crossed the ball for the equaliser. They only turned it around after bringing on their better players, Senegal. Okay, I don't know which player you're on about off the top of my head. Jackson, I live 5 minutes away from that awful Rotherham Stadium. I'll be there. The New York. Laughing at Archer. Not sure Wilder would go for it. Would bag loads, though. No, to be honest, we're not going to go for an Archer, are we? I've already said I don't think we'll go for a statement striker. Evening, Jimmy and Mr. No Show, correct? Where is he? Dan? You know, what am I paying him for? Up the blades, up the ramble, like and subscribe. Brett says, can you imagine if Wilder has gone? The good feeling built up with the fans would be on the floor, up the ramble, like and subscribe. Thank you, Brett. Some would agree with it as a decision. I think the minority would agree with it. I think it causes an immediate, not split. Yeah, well, I suppose it does. It causes a split in how the fan base feel about it. It would only be forgotten if a new man comes in and absolutely hits the ground running. And there's no guarantee anybody could do that. Amy says, hello. We've got the Israel versus Slovakia playing in Hungary. Also have Netherlands versus Malta. Oh, very good. Very good. Thank you for joining us, Amy. Much appreciated. Hope you're well. Ben says, evening, lads. I'm looking forward to watching Iliman again. Me too. Loving the videos. It's filling the void for me and keeping me sane. Thank you, Ben. I appreciate it. Up the blades, up all the rambles. Like and subscribe. No, I can't share at the minute, Mark. I can't. I might do with you privately soon. Owners have seen the backlash from potential McBurney signing that Wilder wants. Yeah, that I can. No, I can't. Went to college there, actually. Majority of the fans would probably ship these new owners back to America if Wilder went. No, I think you can't. We follow United, don't we? We follow United and we'll follow them whatever happens. And that's the attitude Wilder would have as well. But I don't think it's true. I'll be amazed if it's true. Sai says, I'll be at the Rotherham game. Just like last season, we'll probably be in the stands working. Keep up the amazing content across all the channels. Up the blades, up all the rambles. Thank you, mate. Oh, yes, Man Mountain, I've got your message, pal. Wilder's gone, says Beast. See, this is what you need to avoid. And I shouldn't have maybe read it out on stream, but it's already been mentioned in the comments as well. Wilder's gone is a rumour from one person on a forum. Do not believe that is the case until you hear anything else. And I don't think we will. No all caps, please, folks. Brian does not like shouting in the chat, and I'm with him. Thank you. Danny says, where's everyone hearing this regarding Wilder not seeing anything on X or TalkSport? It's come. So some of the lads and lasses in our, well, one or two are in some forums. I don't know which forums. I have an idea. But that is, they reckon it's 4-4-2. No, it's not 4-4-2. Why have you got Eze up front alongside Harry Kane? Nah, it's a 4-2-3-1, that. Anyway, yeah, it's a forum shout. One person in a forum with no substance at all. At this stage, I don't know who it's come from in the forum. It may be Fabrizio Romano on the Sheffield United forum that's telling everybody. That might be the first place he decided to drop the news. And then it's probably legit. But it's not, is it? Let's be right. Jack says, to be fair, I'm very confident with these owners. Seem to understand what understand the fans. I'm just hoping this window doesn't fail to amaze. And what if it does, Jack? What if it does? And I don't mean that in a funny way, but if it does fail to amaze you, does that mean it's season over already before it started? I genuinely think, and I said this in the chat today, and I'm just going to get ready to start the first half timer because I want to be all sorted. Senegal to kick off. Here we go. Is that Sarr number 7? Can't see yet. And I'll come back. There we go. We're off. Oh, that were a bit slow to react. Anyway, he's back. He's the lad. Where are you? Has it kicked off yet on yours?
It has, yeah.
16, 17, 18.
Nowhere near that. I think I'm about, I'm 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Tell me when you get to 25 and I'll unpause it.
2, 3, 4, 5. Henderson clears.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, Jack's just saying he hopes this window doesn't fail to amaze. And my point was going to be on this, that I think, and I said it in the chat today, if we keep our core players, and we will lose players, if we keep our core players, I think if we keep Michael Cooper, Harrison Burrows, Vinny Souza and Gus Hamer, then we could get away with free transfers and loans. Oh, crossed into the box and it's cleared by England. Oh, but is that Gallagher that's robbed?
Yeah, it was.
Cheeky little shot that trickles into Henderson's hands. We won't do that. We will spend money in the window, no doubt about it. But if we bring in frees like Jimmy Dunn, and look, we brought in Callum O'Hare on a free last season, Tyrese Campbell on a free last season. We've got 5 loans that we can use in this squad as well. We don't need to go out and spend 10 million on 3 players each. We don't need 10, 10, 10. It don't need to be wow in terms of the signings. It would be great, and as fans, we would love it. We'd lap it up, but it still doesn't guarantee you success. What's your thoughts on the window and what we need to do in terms of? Do you think there needs to be a bit of a wow factor in the window?
I think the only way we'll get, well, to be honest with you, we said it before, didn't we, Jim? We don't know what the new owners
yeah, that's
what
true.
they're going to be doing. It looks like they're going to take some punts on some foreign players that we won't have heard of, I'd imagine. Hopefully with the idea that they're going to come into the starting 11 and start playing. So they should have played at a decent level before.
Yeah.
I get the feeling the 2 that we had, I don't mind it because it's an introduction, but it's not the most exciting way to show the fans what they mean, if you know what I mean. So they paid just over £1 million for the pair of them, didn't they? I think £1 million a piece. So we're not expecting the universe for £1 million, obviously, and it would be great if they came good. But when you're trying to, deploy a new way of doing transfers, obviously from a Blaze, they've been nowhere near the match squad, have they, this last season? So
yeah,
and they did manage our expectations with that. I don't know if are you managing expectations by talking about this window, because I think it does depend, and unfortunately, I think there are things that are out of our hands. And I said this before. There's not that many clubs in this country, certainly not in the Championship, who can see off interest in their players. I do think that the ones that we're more worried about would cost a fortune to get out of the club. So I think that the Hamers and the Vinny Souzas and Harrison Burrows and Cooper, I think they'd all cost someone a lot of money to get out of it.
Yeah.
And at that point, you start to go, well, is that okay? Because if Cooper went, we'd automatically be looking for a new number 1. And if that number 1 was a good one, would we be that upset if we'd accrued that 25 million for Cooper and bought somebody for £1 million? And if that bankrolled the rest of the rebuild, would we be that upset? Yes, we all love Michael Cooper, but the truth of the matter is we could lose our 5 biggest players if people come and knock the door with 25 million apiece and go, we want him, we want him, we want him. It's hard for us to turn that down, because that represents good business, and it'd been a massive rebuild. Not that I'm trying to scare anyone half to death, obviously, but because Kane,
no, robbed.
Robbed. So yeah, I'm not trying to scare anybody, but everyone's for sale. It is the.
That's true, mate. Yeah, that's true.
And I just feel like there won't be any of those big players, so there won't be a Peck being nicked for 5 million.
Iliman slips him through. It's a good save by Henderson.
Sure is. Good feet again, Iliman. International stage, doesn't look out of place, does he?
Oh, he's class, mate.
I know. But no, I think Anel goes, because I think the club will want to get their money back on him. So I do think he will go.
Do you think what do you think we'll get for Anel? Because I know this is one of Dave's concerns as well, in terms of how much we can hope to get for Anel.
Personally, I'd be open for something like 5 million, rising to 8 million or something around that area. Because
Dave thinks we'd be lucky for around 3, and if that's the case, do we sell?
If it's 3 million quid, it's probably worth more to us in our team next year. So yeah. I think if you look at the Bogle deal, I think it was 5.5, was it 5-6 million quid for him?
Yeah.
With a year to go, I think Anel's definitely in the same conversation as Bogle. So I'd imagine that's where it would go. Like you said before, I think it would be Europe. I don't know if
Yes, I agree.
He wouldn't be a championship team, and I don't know if he'd have Premier League admirers, to be
like
fair.
a French League One team or something like that, wouldn't it? I think maybe somewhere like that, mid-range.
I do think he will go, and I think the rest of them, it depends what the offers are, because I
don't think Gus goes. I don't think Gus Amer will go.
Gaz Sinclair, don't think he's going, does he? So
no, we don't.
We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see.
Oh, I need to speak to you about Gaz Sinclair as well.
Oh dear.
Probably for the reason that you're assuming.
Right, yeah.
What do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah,
of course.
So.
Yeah.
Right, look, this is, I know we're here for a watch along, and thank you to everybody for joining us, but we always sort of lean back to Sheffield United, don't we? This is what's caused all the stir here. So I'm just going to put it on screen. This is what's sent the Platinum chat crazy, and it's been posted in there. Just see what Kyle Walker does with this here as he plays in Bukayo Saka.
Go on, Saka. Go on, mate.
Don't know if it is Saka that. Oh, it was 25. Does he normally wear 25? I don't think he does. Oh, robbed by Eze.
Go on, Eze.
Gallagher.
Go on, then.
Get in!
Yes! Come on! Harry.
Of course it's Harry Kane. Of course it's Harry Kane.
Yeah.
I'm glad we paused, because I could have got right into it then about what's happening with Wilder potentially. And that were good. That were lively. That were a good attack at top at pitch. Eze robs their man. I think he played in Gallagher, who showed decent quick feet to play in Harry Kane. And there were a ricochet somewhere. It was to play in Gordon. And it comes off the keeper, who parries it pretty much into Kane's path, really. And he taps it in. But he has to anticipate it. It's not like a gimme. He's ready for it. He's on his toes and puts it in from 6 yards out. Yeah. Decent, that. Decent. And Mendy's not a bad goalkeeper either, but he's just maybe be a bit disappointed with that.
Cooper to pick that up.
Yeah, Cooper would have saved it all day long, but he's worth twice what Mendy's worth. So if any scouts are listening.
If you look at how close that shot is to the goalkeeper, he's not hit it with much power either.
I know. He'd be disappointed, won't he, Mendy?
I should say so.
Right, so while things are recovering from that, England are 1-0 up. This is what's sent everybody, and it's dead bat from Tufty Club, and I don't know him personally, but obviously he's got a platform himself, so maybe this is what's been said. Everything's very Wilder at the minute, says Bladesman. Lee Baxter, I don't think it's the Lee Baxter, but says all the rumours with McBurney, blah, 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 is very Wilder too. Seems late announcing it. Surprised it hasn't leaked yet if it's true. Basically, Deadbat then says, I'll be more surprised if Wilder stays now. The people I heard it off are not normally people who make things up. I'd rather him have one more go, but Yanks seem to have gone the other way. Are we talking about Wilder, says Lee? Everything I've heard, he's gone. From a number of sources, people who know agents, etc. I heard it from a guy at work today, too, who is well connected at the lane. So I don't know what Deadback's like for sources. So now I know that there's a name to it that has his own platform. It gives it a touch more credibility to me, if I'm honest. As I say, I don't know him personally. I'd still be very, very surprised if that's the case. But I just want, because the worms were out of the can. I thought it only best to, if we could get some more information on that we put it out there. I think that's only fair. So that's what's been said, mate. Any thoughts on that now that we know it's come from a source per se, I suppose?
Again, I'm not up for judging anyone's credibility on sources. It'd be a surprise, I guess. Like you say, with some
good deep cross from Senegal, but it's cleared by England. Sorry, mate.
That's right. There we go. This could be a good game, I think.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, they're lively up top, aren't they? Which keeps us on his toes. Henderson didn't look comfortable there, being pressed.
Yeah, well, he has been stitched there, big time.
Yeah, he has. Lewis Skelly does very well to win a free kick.
Lewis Skelly.
That was just smart, weren't it? That was smart.
It's
he'll end up at Madrid, won't he? He'll end up at Madrid or somewhere like that. Will Lewis Skelly?
Oh, crikey! Well, I still want to try and keep hold of him for a couple of years.
Oh,
catch that, Dino. There you go.
I think you're still a second behind me. Pause.
Throws out wide. Here comes Gallagher, I think. Yeah.
It's Declan, it.
Or is it Rice? Gordon now. Left and right. Oh, there he goes. Corner ball.
Corner for England. Okay, so Scott says, gotta love Wednesday plays with the cryptic tweaks. Marvin Johnson tweeting a gif of Mr. Bean looking at his watch. Sly Digger, our favourite owner, Chansiri. Still not been paid. Old Marvin. And they're releasing him at end of month, aren't they? If Wilder's gone, that means Rian's gone. Beast boy, that cannot be your first thought. I need Wilder to stay so Rian gets a new contract. Calm down, fella, says Nige. Forgot Dino played for Forest. Dino played for Forest?
Yeah.
Dean Henderson?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah. He was on loan there, wasn't he? Last year, wasn't he?
Dean Henderson at Forest?
Yes.
I don't remember him at Forest. Oh, you might be right. Oh, what a sickness that is.
Mate, we are right. You just need to watch some more football.
Yeah, I do. I do, because I don't watch enough. Probably as I only watch Sheffield United. So when it comes to England games and stuff like that, I ain't got a clue. If it fails to amaze, then I'd cry, says Jack. Where's Mountain gone? He went for his tea. I think you were having dumplings. I'm not entirely sure. What did you have, mate? What did you have for tea?
Oh, you'll be jealous. Chicken tikkas.
Oh.
Chicken tikka wrap. Ronnie smelt it from upstairs.
Did he?
And he was like, oh, Dad, it smells so good.
Did he float it downstairs?
Hey, so I says to him, come have a little sneaky chicken tikka wrap. So I just put it in the air fryer. It's so good. Got this seasoning salt.
Nice.
Straight in the air fryer. It's brilliant in the air fryer. I'm not on commission.
No, we've converted.
Yeah, we need to get a sponsor, air fryer.
Yes, yeah. If anybody wants to sponsor the Ramble, air fryers, we're up for it.
I'll be eating on stream if we get one of them on the sponsorship.
If we keep all our players, I'll be amazed, says Jack. I don't think we will, but I think we've got to keep the core, is what I'm talking. I think Sidney Peck might go, for example. I talked about it today. I think Ryan O'Neill might go, but that's not a core player, is it?
So if Peck went, knowing that we've got Davis, and listen, no one's a bigger fan of Sidney Peck, I suppose, but his numbers in terms of when I looked at the Tommy Doyle transfer, I wouldn't be upset if we got Tommy Doyle and ended up with 20 million in our back pocket with Sidney Peck down the road. That would not upset me.
It won't be that sort of difference, would it? For what you're paying out on Tommy Doyle.
How much do you think Tommy Doyle would cost you?
I think realistically about 8 million quid.
I think 5.
I think we'd be lucky to get him for 5. I don't know where these £3 million rumours have come, because I've seen them as well, so I know why people are talking about them, but it doesn't add up for me. 3 million quid for Tommy Doyle. So you said 5, that's fine. I think we get no more than 15 mil for Sidney Peck.
See, I don't think so. I think if they want to get Peck out the club, they need to pay 20.
I hope so. I hope you're right, mate. I hope you're right.
I think so. If they think he's going to go and play for them in the Premier League, and he plays for England, doesn't he? He plays for the England, what they call it.
He does, yeah.
Yeah. So that's not a big outlay for a club like West Ham in the current climate, should we say? So I don't think we'd sell City for 15 personally.
The Wilder rumour's been started by John West, says David.
How funny was that? Oh my gosh!
I know you loved that, didn't you,
Mate? As if the proper John West account came and had to do a.
We are not affiliated with Sheffield Wednesday in any way. Oh, it's an header. Oh, good save, Henderson.
Mate, I was
absolutely
just crying. It was so good.
Dino Henderson from Ismail Assar. I think it's Ismail Assar. It certainly says Ismail on the back of his head. It's a lovely cross. Left-footed. Great header from just around the penalty spot. Gets good torque on his head, doesn't he? It's David like that. I know. Yeah, he does. Freak up.
Had a good save, didn't I?
Corner in, cleared. But not truly cleared. Senegal still have it on edge.
They can get this ball off. They love a little risky pass at the back. There's
Kyle Walker.
Didn't fancy it.
The blade.
No one anywhere near him.
Your time is really off, Jim. I know it is, pal, because I've had to delay it. I've had to delay it for Mr. Mountain. I've not kicked off yet. This rubbish legal stream, says Nige. We're 2 minutes in, Nige. Well, we're not. I'm well behind on comments. Iliman on right wing for some reason, says Jamie. It's probably the same reason we played Raksaki on right wing. Jamie, they like to cut in, don't they, on the favoured foot. Sausage rolling coming. Wilder off to Swillsborough.
No chance.
Says Ray. I don't think we'll see that many wow players, says Jack. The main focus will be strengthening. I'll even be happy if we make sure we don't have holes in the squad. Wouldn't support us if we got sausage rolling, says Beast Boy. Disagree. The female referee has just issued a yellow card to Diatta. That was Gordon that had the ball. Took it past. Oh, it was a yellow card. A little bit naughty, that. A little bit naughty. Wouldn't support us if we got sausage rolling. I don't think you can say that. I don't think you can stop supporting a club if they get a... Did you... Oh, apologies if you're too young for this, but Danny Wilson's been here. How many more? We've had some more than that, haven't we? Well, he's just one that jumps to me immediately. We had another manager that's managed Wednesday. Derek Dooley, famously, were in charge at both United and Wednesday as the chairman. No way we go for the PE teacher, Beast Boy. No, I don't think we will, Daz. I don't think we will. Iliman is so good. I reckon we get 8 max. Who's that for? Marco? Nell, I think that was the conversation there. I think Gus stays too, says Bry. Ben says, I think it goes either way. We lose everyone and have a total rebuild, or we keep the majority of the squad together and maybe just lose one asset like Peck. I think Peck and Nell are my tips to go. I think One probably leaves as well. Free kick for England. Left-hand side at box. It's low. Little bit scrappy, but it's cleared by Senegal. Dean Henderson comes out and recovers.
Cool stuff at the back for England. Calm heads.
Unbelievable.
Is that the kiss of death?
Anything less than 5 mil, you've got to keep a nil, says Daz. Don't like playing against these. I always feel sorry for Iliman. Oh, it's not a bad ball. That was Gallagher that played that through.
Yeah, there was a bit of what do we think about the players doing this free transfer thing? I don't know if, I mean, obviously it's a different board to Villa, but we don't know if they want to cash in on their asset because it's with an.
Do you mean the ever increasing trend that players run down the contracts rather than leave on a transfer fee?
Yeah. Just whether it's something. I do think as well. Sometimes some clubs are really poorly managed in that sense that you've got to get something for especially for your big assets. That was the Iliman and Berger scenario, wasn't it? If we hadn't in on them and we'd have gone down and they'd have both gone for free, goodness me, we'd have been in right trouble, wouldn't we?
I just think it's the way things are going, really, and I don't blame the players particularly, because they're just swinging the power back to them. I think the way the clubs have got to look at it is, if they get down to 18 months, then they become an asset that you need to consider selling, and I think that's just where they are now. So if you want a player for longer and don't want to lose money free, you have to incorporate that as being the false deadline of the contract, really, because you don't let a player enter the last 18 months because they're just depreciating then, aren't they? So or you take the gamble like we've done with Anel. So if Anel might not sign a new deal and we might not accept a transfer fee for him, and we might take the gamble like Burnley did with Josh Brownhill and CJ Egan-Riley. And they've got him up, haven't they? They've helped to get him up. So swings and roundabouts, mate. Who would you take then to replace who? Right? Do you mean Anel? Look, all this talk of Tanganga, for me, you can forget it. You can forget Tanganga. I appreciate that he's a good player. I certainly don't think he's as good as everybody's making out, by the way. It's like he's the best defender in the league. I'm not convinced he is. But when we thought we were going to, or we could have been in for him for 10 to 12 million, I still don't want us to be spending that on Tanganga when you could have other players. Here we go.
Saka this side. Takes the ball. Favoured left, in he comes.
Oh, it's good tackle. Too predictable, that, Bakayo.
They know what he's going to do, don't they? But
yeah,
they can't always stop it. That wide. Skelly.
I'd take Mepham to replace Anel, personally. I think he's not...
See him for Wales? Did you watch him for Wales?
No, I didn't, mate. I didn't watch Wales. I was between streams last night.
He was really good. He was really good.
So I think people are blindly or those that are dismissing him are doing it pretty blind, to be honest, and just assuming that because he's played in Championship for a year and ended up losing his place to Dan Ballard, that he's not worth Sheffield United signing. I think he's better than both defenders we've got, if I'm honest. So
I think he'd be a real steady addition.
He's a starter, isn't he? He's a starter, and you pay £5 million for him, for example. I know they're trying to get more, but say you end up paying, if he's in last year of his contract, you pay £5 million. You've got a really good top Championship defender on your hands, I think. Henderson was on loan at Forest season after they went up. Also had Navas as goalkeeper as well. Jimmy, wash your mouth out, questioning the oracle that is my mouth. Apologies. I would never do that. Air fryers are absolute game changers, aren't they? Couldn't live without one now, says Mark Meldrew. England looks so much better in a friendly. Eze is so good, and yet Foden, who never performs, will start almost every time, says Jamie Dumpling. I think our midfield was missing goals, and poor Peck couldn't hit a barn door. He were very unlucky through the season, weren't he, not to bag.
Well, other than Blaster, those central four, the numbers aren't very good for him. Any of them, really.
No, they're not.
It just shows how much we relied on others. Tommy Doyle's were the best for us when we were in the Championship. What did I say he had? He had 5 and 3 or something like that. So he had his goals and assists were much better than.
I've been looking at Cam Brannigan today, and his numbers are good as well. You know, Oxford.
Yes, but is he a holder? That's your question.
No, not particularly. Not particularly.
Would he be part of a 3 advanced, or would he be in the 2?
I think he's a little bit of he can do the dirty work, and they do tend to play him deep, but it's more to sort of organise and screen than it is to win the ball per se. I think he just takes command. He's a leader on the pitch, and I think he's somebody we'd need. I think he's a tough tackler, but that's not his game. I like him. I really like him. Another set piece boy as well. I know we've got a couple in Gus and Burrows, but adds to the arsenal. I really like the fact that anyway. I'll talk about it when we do the video. So, Kev says, "Hi all. Which Senegal player would you sign tomorrow?" Silly question, trick question. I think that, Kev. Great Edda says, "Bri, yes, it was." That shows where I am in the comments as well. If Anel leaves, I can see him going abroad like Italy or Turkey. Yeah, France, I would bet that, Ben, but yeah, I think he goes abroad. How has the game started? I'm not at home, so not sure how it started. I don't think they wait for you to get home, Sam, to start, if I'm honest, pal. If I could see £15 million, 5 add-ons, and a sell-on clause for Peck, yeah, I think that's probably about right. I think that's where we're looking. Great to see you earlier, Jim. It was, pal. Yeah, me and James D. Shakes were together earlier, coming up with a cunning plan for the Ramble. It's the clubs that John West rejects that make the Blades the best. Is battle line still a thing, says Timmy? Not in the closed season, pal, but we are looking to get up and running. You loved that, didn't you? He's still creasing himself on about it, look.
An official statement.
From a top company. I know. Timmy, sorry, mate, just to answer your question. Yes, I don't know if I think battle lines will still be a thing. That's on Connor's channel. That was Connor's moniker that he came up with. But me and him will continue to do content. We've been talking today or yesterday about it. Jamie says, Iliman on right wing because he likes to cut in. You watched for 2 years and he's never been right-footed. He's on the left wing for Everton. He's never been right-footed. He can cut in on his left though, can't he? That's why he's on the right wing. He can use both feet, can Iliman? You can't tell me he's not versatile like that. You wouldn't have him going round. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Virgil van Dijk scored, says Amy. Oh, thank you for keeping us posted. Danny Wilson was a Wigan fan, though, so eventually let him off. Yeah, but Danny Roll's not a Wednesday fan, is he? Certainly not. I think that's been played out in the press recently. Thoughts on Cameron Brannigan, rumour? Squad player. I like him. I like Cam Brannigan, and I have got a vid coming out on Cam Brannigan on Thursday. I think it'll come out. So, yes, you'll hear my thoughts then. Thoughts for you on Cam Brannigan, Power?
You've heard him from me before, pal. I wanted him last year, didn't I?
Yeah.
I thought he'd be a good addition for us. He's a freebie as well, isn't he? I think he's...
No, he's last year of his deal.
He's sure?
Yeah. No, I'm not actually. No, I'm not. He's not free, though. He's not free.
I thought we were after him on the cheap because he was in the last year of his contract and he hadn't signed one.
I think that's the case here, but I might be wrong.
I think we were on about it in January. I think he's...
Transfer market have not got it listed when his contract expires. So
interesting.
Deb says, if Senegal score the only goal, the only player I would expect to score is Iliman. I don't know any of the other players. They've got a couple of decent ones up front. Nicholas Jackson plays for Chelsea. Ismail Assar, I can't remember where. Is he still at Marseille? But he played for Watford. Decent players. Is Mane playing for Senegal? No, he's not.
He's at the back.
Yeah, cool about
Garner Gay's playing in centre mid. He's Everton lad, isn't he?
Mendy in goal, ex-Chelsea. Mark Meldrew says, when Wilson was appointed, they let 150 fans into the boardroom after the presser. Spoke well and thought then he'd do well for us. Played some decent stuff under him. I'd take Thomas Frank as a manager, says Bry. I think we're gonna be a bit late to the party on that, Bry, by the looks of it. I'd stay at the club just for £2,000 a week, never mind 15 to 30k. That's when you're a fan, though, isn't it? That's when you're a fan. You and me both, Nige. Ben says expecting some interest from Burnley, though, for Cooper, seeing as Trafford is off to Newcastle. They can be as interested as they like, pal.
Go.
How have you not scored? How has Anthony Gordon not scored there?
Tony, come on. Deary me.
So ball comes across Kyle Walker. Lovely cross right across the box. And first of all, it's Eze that misses. Who tries to do one of them fancy flicks. And Gordon he's at the far post. And yeah, he's under pressure. But you've got to nail that. You've got to put it in. This is what I mean. He's not... I'm not an Anthony Gordon fan, I have to say. I think he's
been. He's been outstanding at times.
He's a good Premier League player. I don't think he's an international quality player, personally. Expecting some interest from Burnley. We just read that. So Wilder, I meant, says, right, in terms... What were your last question, pal? I assume it's who would you get instead of? I can't find it, mate. It's too far up.
Instead of Wilder, Dyche.
Yeah.
First choice.
Absolutely. Dyche, we've spoken about this, haven't we, pal? I think I'd go for Dyche personally as well.
As the first port of call.
If you take him out of the equation, then if he gets the Leicester job tomorrow, who else would you be interested in?
Because
Because I don't think there's that many.
Well, Cooper's got pedigree, hasn't he?
But he's working with FA and apparently doesn't want to step into domestic management anytime soon.
Okay. Hard to know, really. It's before Robbins went elsewhere. I quite liked Mark Robbins before. He's always seems to do well.
What about Cifuentes? Would you have taken him?
I don't know. Don't know enough about him.
Wouldn't excite you, would it? Wouldn't excite you that?
Hasn't torn up trees, and I don't know who would with the
What
squad.
What about a big name like in a big football name like Steven Gerrard? You know, like Coventry went for Frank Lampard.
No.
You wouldn't have Gerrard?
Nope.
I'm not saying I would, by the way. You just got to think American owners do not. I do not know how they operate. We don't. None of us do. Do they see a big name marquee player equals marquee signings and sponsorships and all that sort of thing? That's a fear, isn't it? I suppose.
I don't know. I feel like when you have, I think there's steady championship managers that you could go and get. We've experimented with Slav before. We had all those years in League One before Wilder. I just feel like even Slav was proven at the championship level and it didn't work out for us. So yeah. I just feel like it's one of those ones where I think ex-players, big-time players, they tend to have ideas about how they want to play rather than have ideas about what they're going to do with what they've got. And I think that managers who are experienced at championship level know that you have to do what works for the players that you've got at your disposal. Because
yeah, completely agree.
I think there's so many managers who go in and like the guy at Southampton, I forgot his name escapes me now. There's so many who go in and try and implement a style. So like Russell Martin. So Vinny Company, Russell Martin, that syndrome of this is how we're playing, this is it. And yeah, you could say, oh, well, Vinny Company got them promoted. And yeah, they look great, but they had all the best players. They were the best. When you got the best players, you can play the best style of football, can't you?
Yeah, you can.
And I think you need to get the best out of what you've got. And if you look at what Wilder's done this season, yeah, there've been players that you might say, well, he didn't get the best out of him. But there's a lot more you could say that he's brought on and improved this season than previous. So Vinny Souza had a much better season this year. You know, Sidney Peck's come through and he's got a lot out of him. Harrison Burrows for a fledgling, yeah, he's a good player, but we got the best out of him. So I just feel like it's one of them, isn't it? Where, I mean, Tyrese Campbell as well. There's players in the side who you think they got the best out of. Maybe you could argue that Raksaki, maybe not. Brooks, maybe not. Gilchrist. Yeah, there's BBD again looked good for a short spell, didn't he? Then sort of went off the boil. So it's all about what can you get out of what you've got, and let's have it right. Sheffield United had a good squad this season. Should have been there or thereabouts, but he has overseen the rebuild and he has overseen it. What is not as a completely successful season, but it's on paper it's a very good return, isn't it, for what he had at the start and where we ended up. So
with the context applied, I think it's a really good season.
Yeah, and obviously it could have been slightly better in terms of and those games. I don't care what anyone says. We probably deserved to win the final based on the balance of the game. Yeah. You can argue that the players might have got into themselves a bit in the second half, but you know, whenever we're playing well, we think, oh, the players are playing well, but we can't just put the boot in every time that they don't do what we want them to do. And let's face it, they only had 2 shots, took their 2 goals really well. So it's hard, isn't it?
Right.
Another day, both of them go begging.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, they do. Wilder might have worked his magic and convinced Gus and Vinny to stay. Possibly.
Well, they seem a lot happier, don't they?
They do. They do.
You know, when you've had that miserable season in the Premier League, all of us fans, they'd already gone as far as we were concerned, hadn't they? Vinny and Gus had already, I'll go, they've gone. Yeah. And they didn't, and they stayed, and they do seem a lot happier now, obviously, after a decent season than
They're best mates as well, aren't they, Sousa and Hamer? And obviously they'd be splitting up. Not that that makes a huge difference, but it does help a little bit, I think, that if you're happy with where you are. Cam Brannigan is similar to Josh Brownhill. A little bit more. I can see some similarities. I don't think they're the profiles of that alike, but I know what you're saying, pal. Josh says Peck's one of the most important players to keep, in my opinion. He'll keep getting better and better. Hopefully, Ollie is still as good as he was before the injury. What you got to think, Josh, is we are balancing long term against the here and now. So in the here and now, Vinny Sousa is a better player than Sidney Peck. It doesn't mean that Sidney Peck won't be a better player than Vinny in years to come. Won't be worth more than him, because he could well be. Who do we need more now? We need Vinny more now. And if it's a decision between one of the two, then you'd sell Siddy, even though Siddy's probably got the longer term value in him. And he might not. He might not. Vinny might end up being the player that he was quoted as thinking he is. But I think you've got to balance long term. Like, if we sell Ryan O'Neill, we don't want to sell Ryan O'Neill, but we're selling him so that we don't have to sell Gus Hamer, because Gus Hamer's going to have much more of an impact on the field next season than Ryan O'Neill does, most likely.
Where's he going to go? Where's O'Neill going to go?
Well, Liverpool are sniffing, apparently. Oh, it's a great today from Henderson.
Liverpool.
Yeah. Because to them, 10 or 15 million quid isn't the same as it is. Look at Newcastle coming in with Asula. You'd have said Asula to Newcastle. You'd have said the same thing, wouldn't you? But if they're buying him for their development squad, you've got to remember, is he still 18? Maybe 19 now. It's a big wedge, don't get me wrong, and it's a big show of faith in what they're buying. But it's like us dropping £1 million on a 17-year-old, probably.
What sort of fee?
Well, we're hoping for Asula money.
Yeah, well, someone knows more than me if
and me, mate. And me. Reng says if Job is 30 odd mil, then Peck is 50. We've no chance, mate. We've no chance. We do need to get some pace in this side, says Jack. Yes, we do. I agree with that. Jamie says I meant Iliman is right-footed, so it wouldn't make sense for him to cut in every time. Yeah, but he can do a bit of everything. You've seen Iliman long enough, Jamie, to know that he's comfortable wherever you put him across that front three. He could play as the 9 as well, and they'd be absolutely fine with that. They're probably playing to the other player's strengths because he's as good as you need him to be. Was going to go for Brannigan back in the day, but we went for Ben Woodburn, says Reng. That's depressing. Sars at Palace now. Yes, he is. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Graham. As ever, people, help us make the ramble even bigger. Like, subscribe, and share this amazing channel. Be part of the family. Keep it ramble. Thank you, mate. Amy says some of these guts aren't playing. Is the 2025 Club World Cup? Oh, some of the better players, you mean? Some of these guys aren't playing is because of the Club World Cup. Oh, fair dues. Shared the stream for you, Jimmy. Thank you, Nige. Appreciate that. Nice one. Fraser says, I'd like to see Cannon develop myself, but I can also see why there's criticism of him regarding his lack of pace, strength, and aggression. One thing I've seen not spoken about is the disappointment of caving under the price tag. In the grand scheme of football, 10 million is the budget elite striker, and I feel a big player that's right for us needs to see £10 million as too low a price tag on his back, not something that holds you down. Do want to reiterate that I think he'll come good, though. I think he'll come good, Fraser. I also go the other way on the price tag thing. I think it's unnecessary pressure on a player. McBurney had it. Brewster clearly had it. It's used as a stick to beat them with for their entire period at a club if they don't immediately hit the ground running. I think it's unavoidable but it's nothing to do with the player. If he'd have come in for £2 million, I keep using this example because it's just screaming at us in the face. Tyrese Campbell came in for no pressure. Nobody expected him to be the main man this season. He was given a little bit of time. He sort of slowly made his way into the team, didn't look fully fit at times. And then when he did get into the team through a Kiefer injury, he hit the ground running. He got a couple of goals that fell nicely for him, and he ran with it, and he were away then. But if he'd have cost 10 million quid, then he might have been different. He might have felt that weight of expectation. He might have missed the chance that he was expected to score. I think there's so many intangibles when you sign for a big fee that I do think you've got to give him a chance. Oh, it's good play from Senegal and well cleared from England. It's not a bad game, this, I know we're not fully focused on it. What about Van Nistelrooy, Jimmy? I think he's... No, I don't think he'll drop to the Championship. I might be wrong, but I think he probably sees himself as a bit bigger. Van Nistelrooy, Paolo? Yeah.
At Championship level, again, they'd probably have to make him a lot of promises about personnel, you'd imagine.
Southgate at the lane, you'd take it. He's not dropping down to Championship, pal. Gerrard's linked with Bury. Yeah, I saw that. But Teesside are sort of denying all links to him at all. So they're like our Sheffield Star, I think.
Can I just say as well? There we go.
Goal for Senegal. A good goal as well.
It was. Did well to reach it on the byline as long as he's kept it in.
Yeah. They've deserved that. They've been putting pressure on, haven't
they? It'll make it for a good game, won't it?
Yeah, I think so.
But just as well, Tom Cannon is only 22.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah.
So if we remember back, those of us who remember Billy Sharp at Bramall Lane, Tom Cannon is regarded as a bit of a finisher. I think that's what he brings to the table, is that you give him the ball in the right areas. Apparently, that's what he is.
In and around the box.
Yeah. And Billy had 3 goes at it to be successful at Bramall Lane. He's 22, so he's a kid, effectively.
Yeah, agreed.
So I think if he ends up scoring loads of goals for us in a season and a half's time or whatever it is, then that's probably what they bought him for.
Agreed, mate. Agreed. And I think he will come good. I'm confident he comes good.
Yeah.
Ray says these Americans would probably go for a Rooney type big name. Don't say that.
Can we get a manager? I think Rooney's finished.
Yeah, he's done, hasn't he? Can we get a manager using AI? Do you know what Rooney might do? He might end up in Saudi, because he's a name, isn't he? And you don't have to be a high quality manager there, and he'll still get a wedge. Russ Martin got hired by Rangers last week. Yes, he did. Still doesn't mean he's a good manager, in my opinion. I think he's quite poor. I think you share that opinion, don't you, Paul? I certainly won't be.
No. I think the whole philosophy of wanting to play football and getting your team to play, like Rangers will dominate most of the games in Scotland. It might suit him down to the ground because they'll have 60-70% possession in most of the games because the standard of the league support. But
I think it's an egotistical way of going about your business, to be honest.
Well, it was because it was naive, and that was what I was saying. Like, Vinny Company did what he did, and it worked for him, didn't it? I mean, how many people get
it did in the Championship,
down Burnley and get the Bayern job?
But he gets off lightly, does Vinny Company, and Burnley fans will tell you the same probably, because he stuck with his principles, a bit like we're having a pop at Russell Martin for doing.
Yeah, same.
They were poor, they went down, and he got the Bayern job. No idea. And obviously, Russell Martin's now at Rangers. Not the most optimum level of Rangers, the football club, but still a really good job in British football. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Do we think Cannon gets more of a crack of the whip this season in a 2 or even 1 on his own? Personally, I don't think he works in a 1. I think he gets more of a chance in a 2. Yeah, I do. I think that's the way. I think Wilder liked the way it went towards the back end of the season. You saw a lot more of the 2. Callum O'Hare was sacrificed because of that. We need to work a way to get Callum O'Hare in the side if we can, rather than just a finisher, like Man Mountain likes to call him. But I think we'll see a bit more of the 2. I think we'll go 2 strikers up top next season. I hope we do anyway. Ben says I'd want Ange, and he can bring Monty in with him as well. That's interesting. Do you think Monty stays at Spurs? He'll probably go, won't he? Nick Montgomery. I've not thought about that, but he might be decent to have in and around the place.
Well, yeah, I think he would be decent to have around the place. Obviously, he's been in his stripes, hasn't he? And he's been recognised for what he was doing. We love. Some people despair at us saying this. We love a returning hero, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Why? Why? Just because he's played for United, does he have to come back? Well, yeah. Get Nick Montgomery back. Get the band back together. Michael Brown, Jags as defensive coach, Billy Sharp striker coach. No, I'm not. I'm not as what's the word? No, nostalgic would be one, but I don't think nepotism, I suppose, in terms of Sheffield United, would be the one to go with. So yeah, I don't think it's. Yeah, I think Nick Montgomery would be smart to bring in on the staff if we could do it. That holds you down. Oh, sorry, that's part of the last comment. Leroy Rossinier. Wow, that is an old boy to bring in. I like his son Liam, but his son is at Strasbourg, I think. Leroy Rossinier, I think, has been retired about 15 years as a manager. But if you like him, Daz, I'm not one to judge. You know we're a platform for all opinions.
You know he
here.
doesn't mean him. You know he means
Hey,
his name.
don't you assume? Don't you assume?
I do assume.
No insider gossip here. I'd have taken him before Wilder came back. Almost got Dull City in the playoffs before getting the elbow. Can't remember that part. That must have been late 90s, mid 90s.
Give it a miss.
Can't remember.
Darren, I think he's a decent. He'd be
Liam
exciting.
Rossinier. He's one of the first names on my mind, but he has gone past where we are. He gets a Premier League job next if he comes back to England.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I do. He's
Gosh.
doing great in France. Absolutely brilliant. So, or he was last I heard. That was a month before end of season. Unless it all collapsed.
Do you
Monty
think so?
for manager? No, not for manager. He got sacked at Ibs, didn't he? It wasn't really, as did Eki, but that's a different story. Look at Gus. He's training while on holiday. Maybe he wants to right a wrong, or maybe he wants to move, Jack. You know, there's other ways of looking at it, isn't there? If United sack Wilder, every team in the Championship will want him. Yeah, they should. He's redeemed his reputation. I don't think he'd have got a Championship job before he came back to Sheffield United. But I think he's done enough this season to say that 2/3 of the league would want him. You know, you could see him going into a Bristol City or somewhere like that now, couldn't you? And doing a good job. Sorry, Liam Rossinier, says Daz. I've got it now. I've got it. Know what you're on about. Sorry, I'm a bit like that sometimes. I'm tired. I need to have a day or two off, I think. Not convinced with the Tuchel and England squad at all. Very poor. Do you think the FA are puppet masters? I do not understand what Tuchel is doing, if I'm honest, in terms of his squad selections. This one isn't too bad, but like picking Dan Burn the other night, and they're not gonna be involved in the World Cup squad, are they? Or if they are, half time. What's your thoughts on Tommy Tuchel, pal?
Too early to judge. Don't mind him. He's got some pedigree. I don't know who else would have been in the frame for the job in the first place, and who'd want it. It's not quite the prestige. I don't think it was. I think he's obviously had Champions League. Has he won the Champions League, Tuchel? I think he did, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I think he did with Chelsea.
So yeah, he's got European caliber. Yeah, it's not a surprising appointment for me, but it's too early, isn't it? It's way too early. He's got to have the opportunity to take us to a tournament, and then we'll see. He'll be trying out players, seeing it, who fits and what's what. It feels like everyone's married to the 4-2-3-1 at the moment. I don't know how it works with Kane. I don't know if Kane's better as the one in the middle of the three as opposed to the one on the end of at the point of the attack, because
come deep, doesn't he? He likes to come deep.
Yeah, he links play really, really well in that position. But we've got a lot of talent in there. And could it be a Bellingham pushes on to central striker? Because we've got to get Bellingham in the team one way or the other.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just about. But the trouble is, you're always tempted to crowbar your best players onto the field. England have been doing that since I was a kid, haven't they?
Sheffield United have done it this season, haven't we?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's
You can understand it. It's just, do they fit, or can you make them fit? Liverpool can have One for the fee we pay for Brewster, including his wages over the years. Then we can't complain, says Reng. Louis says Bellingham name adds a £20 million price tag. Yes, agree. Pretty much same as a Beckham last name. You can get into any academy while being average at football. Ryan O'Neill Lover says, let's change Peck's name to Zidane, then we can get 30 million like Joe Bellingham. I think there's merit to that, to be honest. Cannon will have had a pre-season with us. Let's be honest, no player was going to turn us into scoring machines. Possibly only for 15 million would be unbelievable business. Not seeing out that's excited me, says Mark Meldrew. Do you not think he's got a lot of raw tools? And I'm not saying that's 15 million pounds worth of raw tools, by the way, but do you not at least look at him and think, wow, he could be very, very good from some of the little snippets that we've seen? Maybe. What do you think, One?
He's well, at the minute he's a prospect who hasn't proved anything. So he's in the similar sort of thought processes as Sula, I guess, and Jebison, who we've had in recent years. Who I did not. I thought Jebison had more opportunities than him, and he could play forever, Jebison, and not look like he was going to score. he wasn't a finisher. I never thought he was a finisher. Sula, again, is a player who has the physical capabilities to play in the Premier League. As in, he's got that power and a bit of pace and stuff that we seldom have anymore at Championship level, and certainly haven't had at the Lane for a while. So yeah, it was a bit okay. Well, he's going to go, but he's got a lot of developing to do if he's going to go and play for Newcastle. Let's have it right. Yeah. Jebison, I think, will drop through the divisions or will not become a big player. Certainly, I don't even think.
Jebison Slew, is that what we mean?
George Slew, yeah. George Slew, yeah. Scored 2 goals, off you go, and then nothing happens. So yeah, I don't know. Only could be a different kettle to that. He came with a bit more of a rep, didn't he, from Scotland?
I think this could be a little bit of modicum of revenge for Brewster if we get something like 15 million out of him for One. I think that'd be a really good deal for us.
A modicum of revenge.
It would. Daz says, don't forget though, penalties don't count as goals. Apparently, cough cough. Give the lad correct, Daz. Correct. Beast Boy says, wow for the 1-1. Leeds after Senegal's number 6 Diarra. What do you guys think? You're giving us way too much credit for watching the game, pal. Man Mountain might have been.
He's an athlete. He's an athlete, and I think in the middle there, it was when I was doing the Tommy Doyle preview. The rumour thing.
Yeah.
The Wolves manager was just saying like Doyle can do this, that, and the other, but he's not mobile enough for the Premier League. And if you look at a lot of the central midfield players, they are monster athletes, and this is similar to that. You can
talked about that a bit, haven't we? Because Vinny Souza is the mould that you'd want in the Premier League. Not like the prototype, but he's one of our few Premier League ready players in that respect.
Yeah, and I'd almost argue that he hasn't proved that, Jim, because when he was there, he didn't.
Yeah, I don't think. I think that's a fair argument to say that when he was there, he didn't do the business. But you can't say that he hasn't charged up and down the field this season and made men look like boys when they've been up against him.
Yeah, he has.
Because he's an athlete, because of his athleticism.
No,
getting up and down
he has, and he's the one in there where I'd go, yeah, he's the one most likely to go and hang at Premier League level.
Yeah, because
of that. But in the same breath, he hasn't done it against Premier League football players. That's the first thing.
That's fair.
You've got to say. And yeah, almost he does do that at Championship level, and he does look like an under 15 playing with a bunch of under 12s at times, in terms of his power and the way he catches people up and does that. But he's going to have to do a lot to go to the Premier League, and because I don't think he quite has the technical quality that Berger had, who's gone there, obviously, and forged a decent career in that position in the Premier League recently. So I think he could, but I wouldn't be, if I was a Premier League manager, it's you need players who can get up and down, and there is absolutely no room for passengers. And
I think that's an interesting way to look at it, though. If you're one of the managers of a promoted club now, and you look at the Sheffield United squad, I think you're looking at Cooper more than anybody else. You know, you look at the outfielders that we're so worried about losing. I don't think Harrison Burrows, anybody will pay the fee that we'd want for him. I don't think Vinny Souza or Gus. I think that the flaws in Vinny and Gus's game aren't enough to pay the price that we'd want for him, personally. And I think you're looking at like a West Ham or a Crystal Palace for Sidney Peck as a development signing for them on a level up from the transfers we've been talking about, really. A longer term vision for a more established club. So I don't think we are as much danger of losing players as some people fear, because maybe we just value them higher than anybody else that's looking at us outside in.
Well, I think Cooper was would be well known to a lot of scouts playing for Plymouth in the league for as long as he did, and being their star player.
Yeah,
no one came for him though, did they? From
nope.
the Premier League, which was good for us because he's still got something to prove. Playing for a lower end championship team doesn't mean that you're ready for the Premier League, but I would say Cooper is, because we think his technical quality means that he can be a Premier League player and probably will be a Premier League player.
Yeah,
I think that if you're looking at our squad and looking at some of the things that we've said about the physicality of the league, that was one thing that was really noticeable when we were in the Premier League. We were getting ran over by teams all the time, and even like I remember when we watched Bournemouth at the Lane, and
yeah, I do. When it was a game we'd identified as we should be looking to get some here.
Yeah,
and we completely underestimated them as a side.
Mate, they were a really physical, like strong, fast. You can't get in their team unless you've got, like, we know Brooks's technical quality on the ball. Yeah. He's not a first choice for them because he can't run 100 meters in 11 seconds. That's
true.
And the truth of it is, and if you look at our squad, yes, you've got Cooper because in this position, I think he's certainly as good, if not better, than quite a few current Premier League goalkeepers. But also, you look at people like Femi Siriki, Ryan One, and Vinny Souza as the purest form of athlete that we've got. So that's your questions for people like Peck, your questions certainly for people like Hamer and Harrison Burrows. And I don't think Ahmed Hodzic's strong enough, to be honest, to be a Premier League centre half.
I agree.
I'm going to put it out there.
I agree.
I think he might be quick enough and he might be big enough, but I don't think he's strong enough in the air. That's the first thing. But those three in particular, those who show a lot of technical guile, and O'Hare as well, would they be able to live with the physicality of the division? I think if we went up with them without a complement of 3 or 4 absolute machines, as it were, in terms of around do some of the dirty work, I think we get run over again, in truth. And it's the same with Ollie Arblaster. We don't know if he's going to have that. He's certainly, we think he's got technical quality, but has he got the physical capability to go and hang at Premier League level? It's a different universe, mate, to what it was 20 years ago.
I agree.
I agree. Changed, and all of these guys are absolutely wrecked the curve when it comes to fitness. And you know what did Heckingbottom say after that game? He said, if you look at the number of high intensity sprints, I think was the term he used about Bournemouth. He said, oh, they do more than anybody else, and you could just see it. They were just like, it was quite scary.
It was scary because I think they might have even been 17th at the time, and they were. You could feel them sealing the relegation spots, like cutting us adrift, all three of us, because the level was so much higher than we were, and you thought that I wouldn't be surprised if that had had a mental toll on the players that game alone because of how we were. They bent us over and smacked us on the bum, didn't they, that night? They took us to the cleaners. And fair play to them, because I think we not underestimated them, but I thought we looked at them and thought, that's a game we can get something out of. If we play to our best, we should be beating, not necessarily beating them, but we could get something here. And they were completely outclassed us. Right, where are we in the comments? because I'm going to completely lose me. I have lost my place. Let's call a spade a spade. Leeds wanting Shea Charles, says Reng. I don't think they'll pay what Southampton want for him. Again, it goes back to that sort of how much do Leeds want him, because he's had a good season in the Championship. I wouldn't say he's been outstanding. I think he's been good in the Championship. Southampton paid 15 million quid for him. So I do not think that Leeds will go anywhere near that yet.
Where'd they sign him from?
From City, when they were in the Prem, when they were doing their completely different style of recruitment, where they were just going for youngsters with high potential. Let's put a load of money down on these players. They had Bazunu and stuff like that in goal. And they just laid out a load of wedge for these young kids. And they've recouped a lot of it. But Shea Charles were one of those. And obviously spent the season out on loan at Wednesday last season. So, not that they don't particularly value him, but I think in the Championship, he'll be an asset to them. I don't think Sheffield United will get him back on loan like we've been trying to do and stuff like that. So,
I saw Connor talking about, I think Shea Charles is, I think he's got the energy levels to get up and down, and I think he offers you that little bit of what we're speaking about, the physicality. He was on about Connor was on about Davis from Tottenham. I was watching him earlier.
Ben Davis.
Yeah. And I was like, are we talking about Ben Davis, who the left-footed centre-half plays for
fullback-ish,
for years, plays for Wales or did? And he was like, oh yeah, he'd be a good. I was like, crikey! I said, I thought it'd be a long season if they went and got him. Christ.
I mean, there's some random shouts coming. We see it in our group, don't we? There's some random shouts coming. And it's even more, from a Blades perspective, it's even more up in the air because we don't know where the level is. In years gone by, under Prince Abdullah, for example, you know that we could maybe push the boat out and get a Tommy Doyle, but it might not be a permanent, it might be a loan. We knew the level we were operating at. They've not really, other than a January where they've blown 10 million quid on a signing. And I said blown as in like they've put it up front and said it's a bit of a statement, really. Has that sort of blown expectations a little bit, and sort of people are thinking, because we've had people in groups saying, well, we've got that sort of money now, go get Tanganga, go get, whoever else for 10 million quid and whoever else. And that might happen. I think it's a very small chance. But I don't know where to judge him.
Why do you think that? Because I think personally, you do taper expectation a little bit when you say, if we kept these guys, then we got all free transfers, and then got a few loans in. I don't think that sings, we're desperate to go back to the Premier League. It's our last year of parachute payments. I think we've got to go and improve our side. We don't want to maintain what we've got. You don't stand still. So I still think there's a couple of players that we need to add to this squad. Certainly in wide areas, Jim.
How many teams in the second year of parachutes are better than the year before?
Quite a few. Leeds were this year.
The only example you can think of are Leeds. The only example. Think if you can give me another, I'll be amazed. And it's not a trick question, mate. It's because usually you're having to recoup another 30, 40 million. So usually you're a much weaker side the second season. So my point was, if we can maintain as much as possible, it's not standing still. It's going forward. It's preventing a regression. So that was my point, rather than I'm not saying we should just be looking at free transfers and loans, but 5 strong loans from the Premier League. We've seen loan players in the past. There's one on pitch tonight. There's a goalkeeper on that field for England who were an amazing loan signing for us. There's another one on bench, Morgan Gibbs-White, who is one of the best loan players we've ever signed. If we play the loan market right, we could get 2 or 3 absolute, and everybody wants to do this. I understand that, but we are top end at Championship, so we've got the pick of a few. If we get the loan signings right to complement what we have in terms of Gus Amer, Vinny Souza, Tyrese Campbell, Harrison Burrows, Michael Cooper, we are laughing in terms of some of what we could be in this league. And then when you say free transfers, people poo-poo it, but we've already spoken about players running the contract down. Jimmy Dunn as a right back in our team, he's a starter every week. So it's not a regression. I think we could still be probably a better team than we were last season if we maintain the players that we want to retain. Because who have we lost? We've lost. We might lose Ryan Brewster. That's it. And the loan players, we all agree, were a mixed bag at best. And then as long as we keep our main actors, as Wilder would call them, bringing a Jimmy Dunn at right back on a free. We need centre halves, we know that, but the loans can complement us and make us a better side. So that was my point, mate. I think we'll spend money, and it's a moot point really, because I'm just the point we're trying to make was it wasn't necessarily trying to manage expectations. It were more. I think we're going to be all right because we're starting from such a strong foundation, I suppose.
Yeah, well, we're certainly. I agree with you that we're starting from a much stronger foundation than where we've been previously. But I think that's part of the problem is that. So part of the problem with going up is that if your best 2 or 3 players have all been your loan players, and then they'll go,
Yeah, but you take it though, don't you? You take it. You have to take it because Morgan Gibbs-White were that for us when we almost got up last time. Dean Henderson were that when we did go up, and then we got him on loan again in Premier League. It was a bridge too far for us. It might not be if that situation comes around again because of the new ownership, but I'd rather have a loan player that's way too good for us in the Championship and helps pull us into the Prem than somebody who, he's in and around the starting 11, like a Hamza Chowdhury, for example. Should we sign him? Should we not? Is he going to make that much of a difference? You want your loan players to be your players that are out of reach for you.
But personally, and I know it's ideal. I know it'll sound ideal what I'm about to say, right? But the difference between it's not a genius point. The top of the Championship versus the bottom of the Premier League versus survival in the Premier League is even harder than it's ever been.
Yes.
So what we don't want to do is try and rebuild the team every single summer. So every single summer, you've got, we're in the Premier League now. We've got to sign all these new players to fit. You've got to go up with a method. And almost like the way that Sheffield United went up and survived and finished 9th. And I know that's going to be almost impossible to replicate in the current game. I get that. I do. But we had a method. We took all the players with us, where they all came from the Championship, playing a certain way into the Premier League with a system that worked. If you go up with all these loan players, right, and I know you're right, you are right, there'll be talent out there and loans that aren't available to us on perm.
Speaking of which, Gibbs-White's warming up now.
Great. But when we get there, if they all go back to the parents' club, which they do, especially if they've had a really good season, we're trying to then start again in terms of how we're going to
I know what you're saying.
And how we're going to get these players sorted out. Now, if you want to go up and stay up, you've got to go up with a settled side that knows how to play. And you might have a couple that you've loaned that might be possible purchases when you go up. You might have to buy more when you go up anyway, regardless. But what you want is a core of about 12 to 15 players that know how you want to play and the way you want to go about it.
But how do you build that core when? Because that is finding the perfect nucleus of a Championship squad, isn't it? And that's what everybody's trying to build. So how do you get
investment? It's all about investment. If you look at the teams that finish at the top, Jim, they play the most money. It's hard and like
Burnley have done it brilliantly this season because they got without Jadon Anthony on loan, without Marcus Edwards that came in January on loan. There were another one as well. Zian Fleming, who came in on loan. Without them, then they wouldn't have gone up. However, what they did was have an obligation to buy on promotion. So it's exactly what you're saying, really, is that's the best of both our worlds that we're talking. I'm saying usually the best of the loan market, which they've done. You are saying, well, we need to secure them as part of the core. And that's the safest way of them doing it, isn't it? It's a really smart bit of business from Burnley in hindsight. And now they go up with 3 more. Yes, they've spent 35 million of their budget already, but they've got 3 core players there now who they know or they're confident could be bridge players between the Premier League and the Championship. So, and if they get relegated, they'll sell one of them, or maybe 2 of them, or maybe all 3 of them. So you're right. I think we're both right in his own way. I think we both make decent points, and maybe there's gaps in each argument, but it's the idealistic to say we should be spending the money because you never know whether it's going to be a a bust or not, do you?
No, you don't. And I agree with using the loan market. You can get one or two, maybe even three, who pay off because they're really, really good. But like you said, it'd be nice to have some continuity because although we've already embarked on a major rebuild in the summer and have added some more in January, it just feels what we don't want to do is flog and then buy another load.
So surely part of that continuity is retaining your assets, which was full circle to my original point, doesn't it? So I would, if Michael Cooper's getting, I don't think the Everton deal gets off the ground. I think it's paper. I think it's Alan Nixon just throwing darts, to be honest. But if Burnley sell Trafford and they suddenly say Michael Cooper is going to be our number one target for goalkeeper, and they say Sheffield United is 20 million quid or 25 million quid, Cooper, we're going to pay you 50 grand a week. Sheffield United have to then come back in and say, Coops, there's a chance that they go down and they're in our position next season. There's a chance that we go up. I know the thing that's tempting you is the 50 grand a week. Here's another 5-year deal from Sheffield United, 50 grand a week. And, 10% pay rise on, rather than a big lift when we get promoted. It's a smaller lift when we get promoted. I think that's the ambition that Sheffield United have to show, particularly with the core players. That's how we will retain our better play, like Gus Hamer. Gus Hamer's got one big move left in him probably, but is he a good enough player? He's got unbelievable talent, but he's inconsistent. He can't stay fit. His discipline isn't great. So, and they are nitpicks because he is brilliant. He's been voted best player in league. I'm not dumbing him down at all. But if we said to Gus Hamer, instead of getting one big move, here's a £3 million sign-on fee, and we're going to pay you 50 grand a week as well. Stay with us for the next 4 years. See out the peak of your career, and you'll get us to the Premier League because we're doing the same with Coops. We're doing the same with Vinny Souza. We're doing the same with Harrison Burrows, and we're going to build a core that will get us there. And I think that's the ambition we need to show under this ownership. Not necessarily, here's £10 million for Tom Cannon. And I love Tom Cannon, and I'm a big supporter that we've got him. And I'm not going to go as far as saying it's been a great signing. But I like the fact that he's our player. I think he will come good, but I don't think it was the smartest purchase in the world. So I think that's, rather than Tanganga 10 million quid and sign him for 40 grand a week, and then we don't go up and we lose Gus and Tanganga and Cooper next season. I think you look after your core first. You complement that with brilliant loan signings, a couple of Jimmy Dunns here and there, and I think we're golden. And that's never a guarantee to go up, but I think we're again.
It isn't, Jim, because all the things you've just said, I'm not saying you're wrong, but what we've had this year hasn't been enough. So, and we've had the opportunity. No, we've had the opportunity to have loan signings, and they've not all paid off.
But I'm exactly right, and I agree with that. And we need to get the loans right. That's an absolute no-brainer, and that's down to the manager to do that. But the players that we're talking about, the core that we're mentioning, and you can swap one out, you can do whatever you like. You could include Ollie Arblaster if you want. But say there's a 5. Say there's a Cooper, Burrows, Ollie Arblaster, Vinny Souza, and Gus Hamer. You wouldn't take any of those out of your squad, out of your first team probably next season, no matter who we sign, would you?
No.
So that is. They're worth investing in, is what I'm saying. You're right in terms of the squad overall, and the first team weren't good enough to get up. But we also had Jack Robinson in that side. We also had an Alfie Gilchrist at times. We had Raksaki in that team. Kiefer Moore didn't always do it. So you improve on these players, and that's where you're going to find your gains, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we need 5. I think if we're gonna go up, we need to improve in 5 areas. And I think there might be 1 or 2 that are loans. I'd like 3 of those to be perms, if possible. Because
what's your 5 then?
The two centre halves and a
right back. Yeah.
Then I want 2 wingers.
Right wing.
Proper right and left wings.
Yeah, I think that's right. I'd agree with that.
And then that for me, we would have enough. But remembering these guys have done well this season, Jim, no doubt about it, what you're talking about. But it hasn't been good enough to go up. So despite us having.
And we don't play five-a-side, do we? That's the problem.
No, I know, but they are the best of our squad. But for me, we need upgrades in other areas if we're going to go in. If we're going to go and win the league, because that's where I think we've been, slightly weakened this season in those.
So those positions that you're talking about are the players that we need to upgrade. The rest, not pick themselves, but you're comfortable enough with of being automatic promotion challengers.
Yeah,
because I am too. I don't think we disagree.
No, I agree with you. I agree. I just feel like if the new ownership, if they want to go up, and I think they will. I think they will have to show a little bit of ambition to go and get those players that we're talking about, and I think we need some better physical players than what we've had this year. And we certainly, if we go up, we'll need guys who we don't need Premier League ready players right now, but we need guys who can hang at that level. And other than the three that I mentioned to you, that's the type of athlete that we need in our.
So what? All right, just to play devil's advocate then with that, I agree again with them. We're not disagreeing. I just think it's healthy conversation about what a lot of fans are talking about. You've already mentioned Tommy Doyle. I love Tommy Doyle. You love Tommy Doyle. A lot of Blades love him. We don't need Tommy Doyle at the minute. We're sort of looking at Tommy Doyle if we're to lose one of the centre midfielders that we've got, whether that be City, unlikely to be Ollie Arblaster due to injury, but Vinny Souza. Then we look at maybe Tommy Doyle. We're not looking at Tommy Doyle as a brilliant Premier League ready midfielder, are we? We're looking at Tommy Doyle as, if we can get him for 5, 6, 7 million, then that's a really good price for him. And that's probably undervalue, or certainly a good value for what we can get. So that's not the same parameters as what you're talking about, is it? That's not athlete. We need him that's going to be game ready to go. That's a different type of profile to what you say. So I think you have to sprinkle it in terms. Jimmy Dunn, we don't know if he's a Premier League ready right back, and we won't know until if we get promoted with him. We haven't even signed him yet, but what we do know is he's a very good Championship right back, and that's what we need
on a free transfer, Jim.
On a free. So that's minimal risk, and that's just what I've been talking about, really. In terms of, you are right in terms of we should always go for the best in class that we can get as a side. And if Kyle Walker-Peters comes up, for example, as a potential signing, and we've got the money, then go and spend it, because we know he's a Premier League defender. So go and do that. But if Jimmy Dunn's the not second choice, but I'd still bring Jimmy Dunn in anyway, because he can play centre half as well, and we can move to a 3, all these sorts of things. But I think Jimmy Dunn is a very good option in the Championship, particularly on a free, particularly when you can. And I don't think we'd be loads weaker for having. In fact, I think he's stronger than right backs we've had this season. So I think it's really interesting. Really interesting.
I agree, but I think Jimmy Dunn's fine. That's to me, it's a free transfer. Best player at QPR this last season. You take it all day, because we need cover at centre half and at right back. And you could see him starting. If he has the type of season he had this season, I rate it. It's fine. But I do, again, it's what they want to do, and the only way that they're going to get the players that you're talking about. So the only way that they don't manage to get all the Walker-Peters, for example, he's ran his deal down because you don't want to play top end Championship with Southampton, and he wants the money and the deal that he needs to feel like he's worth his it's worth his while, and and it's about wages. And I've been banging this drum for ages. Yeah. If you want better players, you've got to pay them more money. No better example to do that when you're not paying massive outlays in terms of transfer fees. So, for example, if you do get someone like Walker-Peters through the door, you do manage to attract him where Southampton wouldn't be able to, which should be a hard thing to do, I think. If you do, and you pay him a decent wedge, you got to understand that if you wanted to sell him in a year or two's time, you might get 10 or 12, 15 million for him because of.
If we sell Callum O'Hare, we're going to get a good fee for him, aren't we?
Yeah, you say that.
Wouldn't you say? Don't you think he's worth at least £5 million if he has a good season?
Listen, I like Callum O'Hare. His numbers aren't very good. That's the first thing.
In terms of his output, in terms of goals and assists.
Yeah, okay. His numbers aren't very good, Jim. So if you're talking to me about a 5 million fee for O'Hare, I definitely think he's a £5 million plus player. I do.
Yeah.
But who comes in and pays that money for him? Because there's only a few teams in the Championship who would even think about
Birmingham, Wrexham, straight away. I think if we wanted to sell him, we could get a.
Yeah, I think you pick the two teams where he upgrades what they've got. I agree.
We could get money for him. Is my point really?
Do you think Leicester?
No.
Premier League's no. So no one from the Premier League is going to come and get him.
I don't think Leicester, Southampton, or Ipswich should be coming in for him. No. I don't think they should because I don't think it's. No. So
you've picked the two teams with the wedge who are coming up where he upgrades the team. I get that, and that's 2-1.
2-1 Senegal. And they've just closed down on goal, not really challenged. And there's boos ringing round the City ground.
Wow.
Oh, Tommy.
Need a response, don't we?
They've played well, Senegal. They've played well. And this is what happens when you put out patchy sides, really, rather than going with what your best team is.
Well, they're trying to manage minutes, aren't they?
Why though?
Because they've all played a full season. They're all cream cracking, and none of the players are bothered, are they?
And half of them are playing in Club World Cup. Who is it that slipped? Chalobah.
Oh no, no one's busting it to get back.
Diarra. It's the Leeds boy, Diarra. Yeah, it's nutmeg on Dino, unfortunately.
And they'll be wounded with that.
Yeah, he will. I think Cannon works way better in a two up top. Hopefully, he does come good next season.
Who sat down there? Is that Chalobah in the middle?
Chalobah slips.
Just had a little sit down.
Yeah. I think he needs to come on physical in terms of physicality. When you see him at the pitch, side of the pitch, he doesn't look the biggest or strongest. It's a bit like Bellingham since he went to Madrid. He just looks a lot stronger. At risk of going off on a tangent, I do think our overall fitness of the team needs to improve. Personally, I would like to see more of a 4-3-3 as our primary formation this season, but ultimately don't mind what we play as long as we put up with another good fight. Fraser, the thing is, and I don't disagree with you, pal, necessarily you can want whatever formation you want, but with a 4-3-3, you easily slip into a 4-5-1, and that can be a lot more defensive than what you've got in your mind for a 4-3-3. So it's the 4-2-3-1. It can be quite similar as well. So Rob says Rossignol bottled the playoffs at Hull, like absolutely bottled them. I think being manager of Hull is a different kettle of fish to being manager of a parachute team. And I think it's all relative to where you are. And I don't think he bottled them per se. I think any manager can have a bad run of games, but Liam Rossignol is a really good manager, in my opinion, Rob. In my opinion. Paolo says, evening all, listening while at work. Hypothetically, if the board were to part ways with Wilder, who would you look to take over at the Blades? I think we covered that since you'd asked the question, pal. Chelsea are lining up Rossignol to be their manager in the future, says Ben. I hadn't heard that, but I think that's a huge leap for him, if I'm honest. I won't be against Gerrard, says Ian. Won the SPL against the odds, and what a mentor he would be for Blaster. I won't mind him as a coach. I don't know about a manager. No for Walker back at the lane, says David Vinter. Oh, dear. I'd take Kyle Walker all day long. Does One have more potential with us than Cannon? No. Well, yeah, he has more potential if you can wait 5 years. But I'm not sure we can. I'm just going to have to jump through a little bit. Me and Paolo. Oh! Morgan Gibbs White shoots straight at the goalkeeper. I'm hoping Dean Henderson becomes number one. Sorry, Pete. That were half an hour ago. If you're Connor, you're looking at half our squad. Yeah, Connor does look at half our squad. Statman Jack says, evening, gents. We offer a pint in Girona or what? Jack's well keen to get out to Girona. I don't think you'll have to persuade Man Mountain too much. Maybe Mrs. Mountain might need some persuading. Bournemouth are miles ahead of us, says Maury. Yeah, they are. But it wasn't as evident as it was at the time when we were talking about. It certainly is now. Scouts are always at Plymouth watching Coop, says Dave, and Uncle Colin. not a Blade, was always hawking him to other clubs, but never to us for some reason. Yeah, never been a Blade. Never been a Blade, Aunt Colin. Sheffield United looked good in the first half. Sheffield, oh, you mean in the playoffs? Mr. Vancouver with a $50 super chat. You're unbelievable. You're unbelievable. Thank you. Good evening, Jimmy and Mr. Mountain. Up the Blades, up all the rambles. Like and subscribe to the best Blades content in the universe. Thank you, pal. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Ridiculously kind super chat. Thank you. Adozy is class, says Maury. What's Adozy doing now? I haven't seen him for some time, to be honest. Statman Jack. Oh, he's changed his name as well. I do think we actually keep Hamer. Looking at that Instagram post he did, it just said 24-25 Sheffield United, love art. If he was leaving, surely it would have said 23-25 and had a speech when he left, like when he left Cov. That is looking at the minutiae of everybody's post. That is a standard transfer window thing. How many different ways can we look into this post? I don't think he's leaving though. Just in case anyone forgot, the transfer window's closed. Oh, we didn't do a deadline day. We should have done a deadline day special, shouldn't we? The transfer window is now closed. Shea Charles looked good and stood out in a very poor team. I would look good in that team over the City. We were the better in the second season the last time we came. We were better the second season the last time we came down. Under Hecky, yes, we were. I would also say that the other comparison that I like is when we first came up from League One, and looked like we were going to, maybe at one stage before the Coots injury, do a double bounce like Ipswich ended up doing.
Go on.
Oh, Gibbs White into the box. Well played. Saka. Oh, has he missed or is that a save? It's a save, I think. Looks like he's going for a corner. Well done, Mendy. Let's have a little look at that. Gibbs White with a reverse pass. It finds its way through to Bukayo Saka, who takes a shot. It's going bottom corner, and Mendy. It's a great save. It's a great save. The comparison I like is what we're going to say was when we came up second time, got the Coots injury, unfortunately, fell away that season. And then the season after that was the season we really went again and finished second. I like to compare us to that now, if I can. That's the most positive way to do it. Corner to England. Declan Rice goes short, gets it back. It's crossed in and it's cleared. Looking forward to the coming weeks and looking forward to seeing what players we have in pre-season. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Me too.
It's not.
You're lucky it went behind him there.
It's a thing. They're very quick on the transition, very physically strong.
Iliman doesn't half look at home now at international stage, does he?
I mean, Senegal are one of the best teams, aren't they, in the AFCON? But they look so much more organised. Do you remember?
AFCON champions, are they?
Yeah, they are actually. But they're really good, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
I mean, there's the old Nigeria teams that had so many good individuals playing for them. But now they look really well organised, don't they? That was always the thing.
There's no standouts like other than at the top of the pitch, but I think they've got a really good spine. They look to have they're really solid, like you say, well organised as well, which can bring above average players up to being excellent at times, can't it? Shea Charles was a good player in a very poor team. I think he's vastly overrated. Same with Tango Man, if I'm honest. When I've seen him play, he's been very average. Who's Tango Man?
Tanganga.
Oh yeah. Bournemouth were. I agree. I think Tanganga's slightly overrated at the level. Certainly the way people are talking about him. Bournemouth were better in their second season in the Championship, but I think your point is valid, Jimmy. Thank you, Fraser. Marcus says hi, Jimmy. Hey up, Marcus. Hope you well, pal. Good to see you, mate. Exactly how Sunderland had it when Ahmad was on loan to us 2 seasons back. He nearly carried us to the Premier League. Yeah, I think that's fair. But like Paul's argument would be, you couldn't then replace him when you didn't make it to the Premier League. So it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? Ben says that's been our problem this year. We have identity as a club, but we didn't have playing identity like we did when we went up and finished 9th. Yeah, I do think that we're lacking a bit of identity as a club at the minute. I think that's fair, particularly with playing style, like you're saying there, Ben. Mogga says the leagues are so different, it's almost impossible because you need a strategy to go up and then different to stay up. You need a huge budget because the players aren't largely good enough. I think I agree with that. And I think That's why Wilder wants to adopt the 4-2-3-1. I think he's mentioned it previously that in the Premier League, that's mostly what teams are playing now. So he wants as little transition as possible. He knows it's going to be a huge transition if you get promoted, but he wants the team and the club to be used to playing a certain way, because we don't have to then say we go up playing a 3-5-2. He don't want to switch that summer into the Premier League and then suddenly change to a 4-2-3-1, because it won't. It's too drastic a change. I think that's what's been he's sort of leaned to. Courtney Hawes, yes, just been released by Villa. Darling and Dunn on frees would be incredible. Darling, I really like as a squad player. I don't think he necessarily, if we get Dunn and if we get Courtney Hawes, which are two big, very big ifs, but well, Dunn isn't a big if, but Courtney Hawes hasn't even been linked with us. I just really like him as a left-sided centre half. I'm not sure Darling starts for us, but I think he's involved in and around the first team. He's probably well done, Dino. Well done, Dino. And to point this season, we brought in Enzo Lafay on a loan with an obligation to buy. I forgot to put. Yeah, I'd have used that excuse as well, that reasoning as well, Rob. If I'd I did remember it at one stage and then I completely forgot about it. I think Mountains Mike's playing up because I'm hearing Jim twice. Sorry about that. Is it still happening, Jamie? Because that were 20 minutes ago. I think Gordon's going through a really sticky patch past few months for club and country. I haven't seen him regularly enough for club, to be honest, but I don't think he's ever really done it for country, if I'm honest. Senegal Corner comes to nothing. Fraser says, I think Jimmy's point is also valid for the Prem too. Secure good characters and athletes and sprinkle it with loans, loan players out of reach to buy unless something brilliant happens. Scott says, most of our loans have been right backs. Gilchrist, Hamza and Clark, 3 out of our 5 or 6 loans wasted. Yeah, Hamza ended up being a right back, didn't he? He got brought in as cover for Vinny, really. But Susan says she agrees with Paul. We need the security of buying players. I agree, Susan. I agree. But I think that's idealistic a lot of the time. When you've got your 5 loans to use, we will use them on like quality players. We seem to play it safe with a lot of the time, says Jack. And I agree with Mountain. If the new owners want the Prem, they've got to start being ambitious. Fullbacks have been poor today, says Jamie. Matt says, if we want top 2, we've got to spend and compete with the other teams. Is it true about Wilder going? Please, no. Don't think so, pal. There's very little been said about it since the initial rumour broke out. Brewster had potential. Cannon is greedy and arrogant. Doesn't pass the ball, just shoots and skies it all the time. Very frustrating to watch, says Beast Boy. He's not quick, isn't good at finishing, not tall, not physical. He does note. Beast Boy, it's fine to have that opinion of Cannon, but it's a stark contrast to how you feel about Ryan Brewster, and I can't connect the dots in how you love Brewster and can't stand Cannon. I could understand if it were both are rubbish or both are good. Wow. Cannon is 22. He's going to be greedy and has potential too, says Jamie. Lee says, loving this discussion, Jim and Paul. Great watch. Thank you, mate. Evening, Jimmy and the Man Mountain. It's been reported locally that Kane Kessler-Hayden is expected to leave Villa this summer. Sign him up. Would love Kessler-Hayden. And I think, again, as a across the box, and it's put out for a corner. Again, like we've spoken about, I think we talked about it on 3MB, Paul. The squad we currently have, which has the potential to be significantly turned over, but as we currently sit here, 3-4-1-2 suits us down to the ground in terms of the players that we've got. If we go 3 at the back, Jimmy Dunn at the right of those centre halves, and Kessler-Hayden as the right wing back with Femi Sariki pushing him, I think that's a brilliant signing. Jamie W says Leeds page said realistic signing was Maximilian Mittelstadt, Germany's first choice left back. Yes, that's Leeds. That's Leeds. Brewster has cost us 30 million. Let's give Cannon more than 5.5 games, says Das. This ref's just having a little. I'm going to say blowfest then, but we'll not go with that. She's blowing up for an awful lot of things in terms of fouls and messing around in the box. 4 Sheffield United players playing on that pitch and sold them for peanuts. Okay, 2 were loans. Beast Boy says Darren Brewster was a Champions League winner and hottest youngster in the world at the time. How much influence did he have on that Champions League campaign? That's why he cost 20 million. Cannon scored 10 championship goals and everyone thinks he's good. Oh, Beast Boy. I have the same hatred for Cannon that Jimmy has for Robbo. I don't have hatred for Robbo. I just don't rate him. Is that your mother-in-law?
I can't say what she said because she swore.
Oh,
it's my wife. She just said England are so something, and I haven't seen the score.
She's right.
I'm like, yeah. Right. Best analysis of the day. Just looked at the score. There it is. Sorry, mate.
It's all right. No, don't be sorry, mate. Don't be sorry. You've got to get your points in, mate. I love Rian Beast Boy, but you are being so hypocritical on Cannon. Scott says, I don't get that comment, Jimmy, regarding Wilder wants to play a 4-2-3-1 to get the squad ready for the... No, that's what he has been quoted as saying. I remember talking about it in a hot off the presser. Then why did he change formations so many times last season? I think the solidity of 4 at the back and 2 in midfield was what he was predominantly going for. It was very rare that he went to a 3-5-2, but I agreed with it when he did because I think that suits the squad. Tam says, guys, if you have to sell Gustavo Hamer, could you buy Jack Radoni just to upset the Coventry fans? Love from a Sunderland fan. I don't think we'll be in for Jack Radoni, personally. I like
Sunderland might be in for him. It'd be ideal.
Yeah, with Job. Yeah, it would, yeah. I see England are sucking the life out of everyone again, says Paul Rose, of well-stoned landscapes. Thank you, Paul, for your support of the channel. Yeah, I'll see you soon, Paul, hopefully. If we keep the core of our current squad, I can see us doing a Leeds and going up next season and sure we get the backing from the owners. And this season is the final season of parachute payments. Yes, it is. Up the blade, up behind the ramble, like and subscribe. Thank you, pal. Players, agents, and their families have more leverage than the club nowadays. I agree with that, Amy. Completely agree with that. Jamie Dumpling says, ref seems like she's going through an ego trip with the amount she keeps collaring players. Cannon 20-goal season incoming, says Ryan O'Neill lover. It's going to be interesting to see how he goes into it. Cannon is a striker on.
Can I just counter Jamie's thing about the ego thing with the referee?
Go for it, mate. Go for it. Yeah, we're nearly at end at comments anyway, so I'm good.
It's quite. We've seen it quite recently, haven't we? With lots of female referees coming into the game and taking over. In fairness, how many games do we come away?
Not phrased the best way. I know you didn't mean it like that.
No. What I'm saying is, it's great for a female referee to take charge of this game, and it's because it's like say it's a good introduction to this level of. I don't know how many she's done, but I haven't seen her before doing an international game or Premier League game, so I assume it's not that many. Yeah. But how many? I haven't noticed the referee in this game too much.
I haven't. I think she's done well.
And how often do we watch football matches?
Exactly right, mate.
Coming off fuming with what we're seeing from the referee.
If you don't, that's for me is always the sign of a good ref. If you don't notice the ref,
yeah.
So I think it's a little bit harsh, Jamie. She was highlighted there because there was a couple of scuffles that went on consecutively in a corner, and she paused the play to have a word with them, which obviously puts her on screen and stuff. But other than that, I don't think she's really done much wrong. There's not been a decision where we've said, what is she doing?
And I thought there were bookings, so...
Yeah, agreed. Well, I don't know where Gaz is, but he would be the main man to comment on that. Dino says, Cannon is a striker, and strikers should be arrogant and greedy. It goes with the territory. Yeah, I think that's the one position you can get away with it, unless it stops coming off and being fruitful for you. If you continue to just look out for yourself and your own chances, start snatching at stuff, it will come back to bite you. I think she's reffed it well, says Bright. I agree. Daz says, why Beast Boy do penalties not counting the scoreline? 1-0 or 6-0, a goal's a goal. And I think Cannon has scored more this season than Brewster has in his Champions League winning career with us. Yeah, absolutely right. So Brewster's been with us. Right. I thought that were a penalty.
Yeah.
We'll see it again. Oh no, it's not. She's made the right decision there. I think he's got there first.
Yes.
Yeah, and Rogers has kicked his ankle. Yeah, it's a good decision.
Yeah, very good.
We have another 2 seasons. No, we don't, Jamie. We've got one more season of parachute payments. You only get 3 if you're up for more than 1 season. And we were only up for 1 season, so you get 2.
Didn't know that.
Ryan O'Neill says, I think it will be a foreign league heavy this window, despite the rumours. How will people feel? I think people will go crazy if we just start signing AI players, personally. I don't think we will, but there's all these names linked like Tanganga and stuff, the proven commodities that go for big prices. And I don't think it'll be all like. I'd be interested to see the reaction if there's like 3 or 4 AI players signed, like data-driven signings. I wouldn't be a fan of it because I'd want to be a little bit more sure, but
it'll all depend on how good they are, won't it, Jim? And it'll all depend on what the outlay is. So the reason that we're so critical of certain players is if we sign Cannon as we've said it 100 times, Cannon as a 22-year-old prospect for £2 million, everyone's like, let's see how he goes. Because he's cost us 10, everybody wants return on investment. Same thing with Brewster. If he was, if we'd been plucked out of the academy, we'd be giving him opportunity. The same way Brooks, who burst on the scene not that long ago for us. We don't expect, we're not digging him out, are we? Because he hasn't pulled up the trees we thought he might do from his first season there. It's like, if these AI lads are costing us $1 million a piece, who's to say, oh,
well, that's what Graham said.
If it costs us £10 million, we want them to come in and score 15 goals, don't we?
Exactly right. Exactly right. According to Darren on X, AI is targeting the academy. I think that's exactly what it should be for. I think that's exactly what we should be doing. Cooler King says the best possible thing for... Oh, here comes Senegal again. Oh, it's just wide of the far post. Cooler King says best possible thing for Tommy Cannon's Blades career was not going up. Agreed. He'll hopefully get to have a proper crack at it next season. In the Prem, I don't think he'd have featured much. I agree with that as well.
But again, to play for United, to play for a team that is going to people expect to go, we expect to go close again this season. He's not going to get 10 games without a goal. He's not.
No, he's not.
He's got to give us something to.
But it's tough. There's a lot of pressure on a striker if you just want up top, though, isn't there? If it's 2 up top, shared responsibility. I think you can like develop a little bit more and relax a bit more.
Yeah.
Nice cross that. Well defended.
Yeah, Madueke's.
He had a decent game against Andorra as well. He was one of the few that looked bright. Nice cross from him there.
Another one flattered to deceive, hasn't it? His numbers haven't really jumped from last year.
Beast Boy says he'd be ecstatic if we went with AI players. I'd be happy with it in the academy if we're looking at identifying players that
I'd be happy if they're decent. Yeah,
come
on.
Get in. Poked home by Jude Bellingham. 83 minutes. Love that. You love to see it.
Judy. The man for the big occasion. If it's not an overhead kick, it's a slamming volley. Bang. Get in.
Yeah, nice that. Saying handball.
Lovely
trying to say handball.
Who nods it back by turning the back on it here? Who's that? Number 6.
Diarra.
No, our player.
Oh, for us.
Has he not turned his back on that? It's not handball.
Tuchel getting away with that. Who signs Walker, do you reckon, says Ben? I still have hope he could come back to he's not coming back to the Learning Championship, pal. I don't think so. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where he goes. Maybe America. Somewhere like that now. Now that his stock's fallen so much. I think Wilder walks if it's AI, if it's an AI-led window. Yeah, I don't think he'd be happy with it. And it won't. Jimmy Dunn's not an AI signing, is he? Agree, Scott. No chance Wilder sticks around with AI transfers. Mr. Mountain and Jimmy, if we made 5 AI signings costing 10 mil in total and 2 became starters, is that a success? Absolutely is. Absolutely is.
Oh, Colwell. That's going to get short.
Oh, it is. It is. It's come off his.
Why is he
rotating? The top of his arm, isn't it?
Why is he rotating? Yeah.
I'm doing it already. Before it even gets given. AI players, we could sign 99 players and find 1 gem. It's risky. Yeah, she's been sent to the monitor as the ref. Is it a female lino as well? I'm sure I've just seen a female lino. Yeah, that's Arm.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Why is he doing that? Oh.
Deb says, help the Best Blades channel grow. Please like and subscribe. Hit the like button. Thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it. We are on, we're well over 2100 now on this channel, 2107. If you could go over and support the Blades Ramble, we are 2 away from 8-2. We keep touching over it and then we keep ducking under it again. So, overturned officially. Only problem is Beast Boy Brewster has been given 5 season head start, and this season Cannon for Stoke has scored, and us has scored 11.
4 in 1 game don't count. Penalties don't count.
Yeah, so my dad says as well. Half the players we signed, I hadn't a clue on, says Rob. There you go. And it's worked for Sunderland, hasn't it?
Can you imagine if Brewster scored 4 in 1 game for us?
We're goodbye, won't we?
Sorry, 4 in a season. It's 4 in a season for us. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Since players like Gibbs White, Eze, and Rodgers have all been playing together, it's been so much better going forward. Evening, fellas, and everyone. Evening, Laney. Hope you're well. Why is VAR in a friendly? Because it's international stage, isn't it, pal? Might get chalked off, says Luke. An early call. Well said. No goal, says Bry. Oh. If Hamer stays and Peck goes, would you move Hamer in the middle and sign a left winger? I think Hamer should be more central anyway, yeah.
The thing with Hamer going is it might, if he does go, it might we need someone on that left wing.
Ivan Toney.
Well, he's only travelled from Saudi Arabia to come on for the last 4 minutes. Big Tony. And it's these lot who are pushing, look.
Oh. Walker does well to nudge it out for a corner. Mogger says, do you think Wilder kept faith with Robbo as not to rock the boat at a crucial time? In the past, when big personalities got dropped, it rocked the camp. Murphy, Windass, McCall, big leaders. What's your thoughts on that, Mr. Mountain? Any insight you've got there? No inside info here.
I again, and broken record time. I am shocked. I was shocked when he seemed to be phasing Holding into the team.
We thought for that Wednesday game, he were lining him up, didn't we?
We thought that, and it never happened.
And then you see Jack Robinson on that team sheet, and you think, Christ.
But ironically, it was Kiefer Moore, weren't it? Who he went to him, I believe, because of his experience towards the back end of the season. The semi-final, he was one of our better players.
Yes, he was. And did a good job, I think.
And then in the final, giving the ball away.
I know, and he's public enemy #1 because of it, isn't it? Scapegoated a little bit. But
I don't think the fan base have scapegoated him really.
No, that was the fear, I suppose, more than anything else. It's usually the case, isn't it? Unfortunately, in any fan base, that would be fear over it.
But it was, well, I don't want to say unforgivable, but it was absolute amateur hour. A blind pass like that at that stage.
Yep.
Just look after the ball, take the foul.
All good here, says Laney. Hope all is good in your world. It is. It's very busy. I'm looking forward to climbing into my bed after this stream, I must admit. And I don't plan on getting up anytime soon. Ireland have held Luxembourg to a 0-0 draw. Thank you, Daz. Held Luxembourg, like how you phrase that. My mother's maiden name was Mountain. There you go. Laney Mountain.
Nice. There's a few of us about.
Yeah, apparently so.
God, you got a few thousand here, mate. Where are you in the comments? I've just been scrolling through. I'm still not at the bottom.
I'm at bottom. I'm at oh, last one that's just come in is, so do you think that's why, or he just thought we were a better team with Robbo in it over Holding for the big games? Mr.
Yeah,
Mountain?
again, I can't
I know
read
you're
his-
baffled by it, but Mogger's asking why. Why did he do it, do you think?
Well, Robinson wasn't.
Answer the question. You
Yeah,
can't
well-
handle the truth.
Well, I think
He's got a bad attitude.
that's where managers earn their money, because they're not your mate on a Saturday afternoon who's played all right and not really. Would it have took Robinson to drop an absolute clanger for him to change it?
Another?
Well, he didn't have that many towards the end, Jim.
No, he didn't, because all he did was pass back to Cooper.
No, but okay. But we talk about competition. I think Robinson, you could argue, for that last 10 games was decent.
Yes, he was. And
he
I've said
wasn't-
that on stream, but you
he
still can't
wasn't-
convince me he's a better player than Holding.
Oh, well, I'm not going to, because I
I
don't
know
think he
you're
is.
not, mate. I know, but
But-
it's nonsensical to me. Why did he get the chance to recover his form? He's nowhere near the player that Rob Holding is, in my opinion.
Well, he was given the chance.
He was. He was.
And he's he's probably getting a bit of. He probably gets a little bit of leeway because of the season before, when he was our player of the season, which I know doesn't hold a lot of comfort now. It hasn't all worked out the way we wanted, but
If Jack Robinson's a player at another club, are we in for him this season?
shush, Jim.
Is it? Are we?
Silly questions.
It's
Silly question.
It's,
You know the answer-
it's a hypothetical question.
You know the answers.
The answer is
know-
no. So why
Yes.
why is he in the starting 11?
Because Wilder chose him, and he's the boss.
You can't use the Messiah against me. You can only use that once. You've
I'm not
used that
using
twice.
Messiah against you. I agree with you. Messiah is the one that doesn't agree with you, the one that you call the Messiah. So don't start on me. I'm not even the messenger. You're the messenger. Shoot yourself.
Don't tempt
There
me.
we go. There we go.
3-1 Senegal.
Sucker punch.
The
The
first
England fan-
African side
The
to beat
England fans
England.
are booing.
Tuchel out, says Ian. Where are we in the comments? Works to Liverpool, 150 million euros. Here we go. Ridiculous money. Silly money for a player. And there's us talking about 10 mil for Tanganga or Cannon.
Can you imagine? Right? That's what. Sorry, let's go back to that.
Yeah.
That's one player that they improves their team from where they are now to, as league champions. Improves their team from there to there.
Yeah.
If we went up and spent 150 million and didn't survive, everyone would be like, "What?"
I know. I can't believe how much money they've spent and they still can't survive. Wilder out.
What's the PSR for? Oh yeah, this is what you're allowed to spend. What Liverpool spend that on one player? Yeah, that's because they're allowed to. Oh, brilliant.
Senegal break, and it's 4-on-1 essentially in terms of play at ball. Could have passed to any of the three.
So I was saying this the other day, weren't I? If you look at the Liverpool team, right, the winners of the league, how much is their squad worth? 1,000 million.
So a billion.
That's right. Just wanted to put that.
Yeah, the teacher. Yeah.
Yeah, to explain how much that is. Then, so when you use terms all the time, not everyone understands it. So that's 10 lots of 100 million, right? Then they go and add someone who's allegedly worth 150 mil.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, and then we go up and go, well, how much are we allowed to spend then?
Yeah.
Oh well,
do you think Jimmy Duncan still do it in the Premier League?
based on your revenues and your income from such and such, you're allowed to spend 160 million. What on a full squad? Yeah. Oh, cheers. So, and again, how are you meant to compete with that with what there is?
It's ludicrous.
It's not going to
England
happen,
on the
is it?
attack now.
Oh, he's got to score.
It's cleared by Senegal. It's last
That
15
totally
seconds
is,
at
yeah.
5 added. Jamie Dumpling says, couldn't care about the result. It's a friendly at the end of the day. More about learning what players work and the tactics. Must have been something about holding in training, maybe. That's the only reason I can give it, Graham, in terms of his fitness. 114 watching. There's nearly 1,000 watching, Jamie. 9 likes. Come on, people. Yeah, nearly 1,000 people in here. So if you're not already subscribed, please do come across and show us some love. That's full time, by the way.
The booze.
The booze for the friendly.
A nice, steady, friendly game. Boo.
I was hoping that Brewster would come good, but after 5 years, enough is enough. But hey, he's great with the lads. And
I'll do this one. I'll do this one.
Okay.
Tuchel out. Get him out. Rubbish.
You can take him, mate, if you want from here.
Yeah, do you want, mate? I've been offering for ages. You can't.
Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry.
Can't let it go.
I'm
Tuchel out. That's a lot of support for that. Fully deserved 3-1. I agree. I think they looked a threat all the way through. There's a few mountains. There sure is.
Few canny mountains, like.
My granddad had about 12 brothers and sisters.
Hell.
Breeders, the mountains, the breeders. Anyway, heard my mum shouting the B word. Yeah, my mum. Bonnie's mum was shouting the S word a bit earlier. Enjoyed the chat, guys. Thanks for keeping me awake. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Davey boy.
we could call this a disappointing England performance, but that might be doing it justice. Not enough justice or whatever. When Senegal scored, lol. Yeah. 3-1. That's bad. It sure is, Jamie. Like that, mate. That's bad. Senegal are undefeated in 21 after tonight. Yeah, they're a good side. Good players.
They are a good side.
And I've lost. It's took me down to the bottom. There we go. Jones is a terrible player at this level.
Curtis Jones. Did he come on?
Yeah, he did, actually. There's other people. Help us make the ramble even bigger. We've done that, haven't we? Bry's already said that.
Yeah, he's a copy and paster.
Dino's not done himself many favours. Can we blame Dino? Second one? Yeah, maybe. The money is mental. Sure is. You are not wrong, being Laney. All over. Yeah, we know. Yeah, Port. 55 likes on the screen.
55 for 981 people. Come on, guys.
Brian's laughing at the booze. Tuchel out. Southgate out.
Southgate out. Nice.
I agree with my mountain.
About what?
We're
about
rubbish.
What?
I cannot believe Wilder and staff sat in the office before final and said which team will give us the best chance of a clean sheet. We picked an L and Robbo. Morgan, come and sit next to Jim. You've got a lot to talk about.
Morgan knows his stuff.
Being like you need to promote your squad overseas. Okay, makes that 1-0 win over Andorra look all right. It's not wrong. And the stat man, give me a bit of boat. Maybe we should be picking championship players for the squad.
Maybe we should be picking up championship players for the squad. Do you mean for the England squad?
He's thrown me here, Jack. You've twisted my melon. I don't know what you're on about. What we got? What's Sam saying? Friendliest don't mean anything. Yeah, you're probably right.
Pick champ players for England. You mean like Michael Cooper? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, there's plenty of ex-blades in there. Like I said, there's quite a few Sheffield United old boys in there. The friendlies are what they are, mate. They're exhibitions. This lot are ready for their holidays. I'm really surprised when they got. There's a few Chelsea lads in there. Shalabar as well. Surely he'll be going with Chelsea. And
they'll be Club World Cup, won't they?
Colwell as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Cole Palmer, he was on the bench. He didn't come on.
Chelsea are in Club World Cup. Man City are in Club World Cup.
I don't know.
Maybe that's why City didn't have many involved.
Yeah, that's what we'll blame it on. England were rubbish because of that. So
yeah, that's it. Club World Cup, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Okay, so yeah, guys. I mean, Jimmy, are you ready for your bed, pal? Or do you want to do the rest of these comments?
I am, mate. I always do the rest if I can. Brewster would have been the best player on that pitch. Don't be ridiculous. Jack means for England. Andorra's revenge says I don't get to watch much Andorra's revenge. I don't get to watch much championship over here in the US. What formations are most used by teams? At the moment, it's a 4-2-3-1 that's mostly used. In the championship, teams can vary. Sometimes 3-5-2, sometimes 3-4-1-2. 4-4-2 is a little bit more rare, I would say, nowadays. O'Hare would have put on a decent show, says Jack, you need to put Statman at front of your name because it's throwing me. Daz says, would he have scored though, Beast Boy, or gone off injured, meaning Ryan Brewster? Your first red today, Beastie. There you go. He's been red carded. It's why Wilder has walked. He's been offered the England job, says Ian. There you go. And I think we're just about at the bottom of the comments. I want to say thank you to everybody. Sam says it's not important, friendlies. I think it plays a part. It's not something to get hung up on. I think that's probably the balance. Thank you to everybody for joining it, bringing Mike back. Bassett. I can't keep cutting myself off to answer these comments. Thanks to everybody for joining us tonight. Really enjoyed it. As usual with England games, 4-4-2.
Mike Bassett.
Mike Bassett.
Love Bassett.
As usual with England games, I've enjoyed the chat more than I've enjoyed the game. But I thought there was some really interesting discussion in there, pal. Obviously very Sheffield United centric, but that's what it's about, isn't it? That's what we're gearing ourselves up for, a summer of intrigue and interest and where we're going to go, who's going to come in, that sort of thing as well. There'll be loads of content to come over at channel. What have we got coming up? Let's have a little look. Tomorrow I have got City Peck. What the Peck? What the Peck? What's going on? He's been linked to West Ham. What's all that about? And then the following day, come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Cameron Brannigan has been linked with Sheffield United. That's Thursday morning's 10-minute transfer news. Also, earlier tonight, before we came on stream over on the Blades Ramble, I went live with the breaking news of Sheffield United's pre-season friendly schedule. And for some reason, I put it all in the thumbnail so you don't have to watch to find out when it is. But if you want to go over and watch, you can do. That would do me a solid. So
we need some help with these puns, mate. I think like something like Cam in Focus or something, or something like that. Cam on in.
We need some help. Don't you like that?
Come on in.
I think I outdid myself with
Come on in.
Come on in. Yeah. See, you've got it now. There, you've got it. Thank you very much. I think I outdid myself with Galbraith. You fell. Oh dear, I do like a pun. I do like a pun. Thanks, Ramblers. Keep it ramble, people, says Bry. And I think there's no better way to end it. So thank you to everybody for watching, as always.
Sorry, can I just say this could be the most interesting part of the night with Roy Keane about
Big baby.
we're about to make some comments on this performance. I do just want to hear what he's got to say. The absolute box office, this guy. Poor performance from England.
Have you stopped my outro for a potential Roy Keane comment?
Yeah. Look at his face.
I know, but the people can't see his face.
The people can see his face.
Oh, yeah, they'll be watching this. Ian Wright's talking. Shall we wrap it up, Paul?
If you want, mate. If you want to go to bed.
Rather than just hanging on every word that Roy Keane might say. Right, I'm wrapping it up. I'm taking the wheel back. Come on, you red and white wizards.
Up the free lions and up the blade.